Council.
Defining a new era in men's health, Gameday Men's Health delivers real results. No shortcuts. From testosterone replacement, weight loss, to peptides, vitamins, and sexual performance therapy, they will have you covered. From their in-house lab that gives you answers in just 15 minutes in our clinic that is designed for men who value speed, privacy, and most importantly, results. Visit GamedayMensHealth.com. Real men, real science, real change. Visit GamedayMensHealth.com.
Options. When it comes to insurance, that's exactly what you deserve. I'm Chad Hennessy with Insurmax, and I've been proudly serving the Louisville area for over 25 years. As an independent agent, we work with Auto Owners Insurance to find coverage that fits you, not the other way around. Insurmax delivers strength, service, and peace of mind through partners like Auto Owners Insurance. More choices, more options. Call me, Chad Hennessy, at 502-479-4085.
As student athletes, we want to shine a light on the true team players of every high school sports team, our parents.
Thank you for driving us to practice and cleaning our uniforms.
For selling concessions and hosting team dinners.
For making signs and painting our faces.
For cheering for our team, rain or shine, snow or heat, at home or on the road.
For the time, money, and energy you spent supporting us all season long.
Thank you for always being there for us.
And for everything you do to help us grow through high school sports.
You make it possible for us to play the sports we love, and we will always be grateful.
Mom, Dad, we just want to say thank you.
I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Thank you to all the family members, friends, and fans who champion our student athletes by buying tickets to your high school's athletic events. This is showing our gratitude. This is supporting education-based athletics. This is your IHSAA.
John Spears for Eminem Cartage. You see those trucks riding down the road with the Eminem Cartage sign? You could be a driver or work as a mechanic on one of those trucks. For 45 years, Eminem Cartage has been a locally family-owned transportation company, and they're currently hiring those drivers and mechanics. To join their team, go online to mmcartage.com to apply. Headquartered in Louisville with locations in Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Morristown, Tennessee, and Detroit. That's mmcartage.com to apply.
Humana Incorporated seeks a lead technology leadership professional in Louisville, Kentucky, to be responsible for all aspects of software or hardware, product delivery, and performance. 100% telework permitted within the United States. Pre-employment background check and drug screening required. Apply at jobpostingtoday.com. Reference number 16477. Again, jobpostingtoday.com. Reference number 16477.
It's March. Let's huddle up. Cater with Salsarita's Fresh Mexican Grill. Flame grilled chicken, fresh salsas made daily, hand-mashed guacamole, and the star of the season, our new mango salsa. Sweet mango salsa with a hint of lime. Pile it high on tacos, bowls, or burritos. It's a slam dunk of flavor. Hosting a watch party? Score big with quesadilla trays, our Three Amigos dips, or the melty, crave-worthy queso fundido. Bring championship flavor to the table at Salsarita's Fresh Mexican Grill. Fresh ingredients, bold flavor, 3 locations. Visit salsaritas.com.
The Mike Rutherford Show is brought to you by Everything Concealed Carry. Joe is back with up to 1,000 new and used guns on display, and we pay cash for guns. Visit us in J-Town at 10306 Taylorsville Road or online at eccguns.com.
Big Blue Nation, it's going to be okay. Take a deep breath in, breathe out. We do this every year. Let's just let the negative thoughts drift away. Feel your shoulders relax and feel your expectations lower from national title or bust to let's just see how it all plays out.
Kentucky Roll Call, weekdays at noon on the Big X Sports Radio.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Obi Trice, real name, no gimmicks.
Who are you?
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Wait a minute. I know you.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
I know that, dude.
He's a modern-day Yoda.
I'm your huckleberry.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
Greetings and salutations.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass. You're excited. Feel these nipples.
That boy's good.
Good and terrible.
Well, I have a microphone, and you don't.
So you will listen to every damn word I have to say! This is the Mike Rutherford Show on The Big X.
The sportos, motorheads, geek bloods, waste toys, dweebies, they all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
The Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical, your trusted partner for commercial and industrial HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and refrigeration. Call United Mechanical at 502-339-1133.
Well, I'll stand up next to a mountain. I'll chop it down with the edge of my hand.
All right. Welcome everybody this Thursday, April 16th. This is the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical and Nexus Plus. We're coming to you, as we always are, live from the world-famous University of Louisville College of Business Studios, here in the heart of gorgeous Louisville, Kentucky. Cards fans, if you're looking for a competitive advantage in today's data-driven world, you can earn your master's in business analytics from the University of Louisville now in just 12 months. There's no previous coding experience required. Delve into the world of data analytics and visualization, learning essential tools like R, Python, Power BI, machine learning, and more. Classes are now available both online or in person. To get started or to learn more, visit business.louisville.edu. We're on the air today from 2:33 until 5:30 here on 1450 AM, 96.1 FM, streaming across the land, including on the Big X Sports Radio Louisville YouTube page, airing live on WBNA Channel 21. You know us better as the Big X. Mike Rutherford, Roman Kelly rolling along with you here on a Thursday edition of the show. Portal Madness continues to, it's slowed down just a touch. I think there may be a reason for that. Not necessarily Louisville related, but we'll talk about that in just a second. We've got NBA playoff reaction again last night. We'll get Roman's thoughts on that. NHL playoffs are just about set. It's kind of that time of the year where you get into, you don't watch any NHL, you don't watch any NBA, and then you get very into the NBA, you get very into the NHL for a couple of weeks. It's that time, if you do engage in that sort of thing. We've got, at 3 o'clock, we're going to have Simon Bird, the head coach of the Louisville City FC team, to talk about their big cup set this week, as well as the hot start for the boys in purple and what they've got on tap coming up here. It's the big Thunder over Louisville game on Saturday.
Got the follow from the guys yesterday on X.
What do you mean? What guys?
Louisville City.
Oh, I don't know. Look at that.
I know. I thought that was pretty cool.
It's a big move. It's a big day for you.
Things are happening.
Well done. It's also game day for the Louisville Kings. We'll get Roman's thoughts on that as the Kings look to finally break through and get that ever-elusive first victory in franchise history. We'll hear from you on the Gameday Men's Health text line. 502-414-1450 is the number there. Roman Kelly's in the house. Give him a follow on Twitter, @RomyBean. Rom, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling excited to get into all of the excitement, all of the different madness from players that are in and out of the portal, and visits going well, going bad, whiffs happening, recruitment battles. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to chat about it all.
Reds are losing, by the way.
What was that?
Reds are losing. 3-0.
Ooh.
Going for the sweep over the Giants.
You're going to pull a Roman today.
I mean, a little bit. I was doing it before I left because the Reds got our first two guys on, nobody out. Matt McClain can't get a bunt down, strikes out. Ellie hits into a double play. Then Ellie makes an error next at bat, and the Giants get 2 runs. Now it's 3-0. But we're just, it's okay. Can't win every one. Great game from Chase Burns. Looked great again on the hill.
You got to win when Burns is on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, especially when he goes 6 innings, scoreless baseball. But we have 1 hit, so that's not.
It's terrible.
Not ideal. We've won the first 2 games of the series. I just really want to sweep them because
6 hits in 1 inning. You should be juiced to smack that ball. You should be ready to help your pitcher out.
Well, I mean, they're not trying to get out, Roman. I just want to sweep these guys because they got that D-bag, Tony Vitello, as the manager. Remember the guy who basically made Tennessee baseball the most hated team in America? He's now the Giants manager. Would have been nice to sweep them. But still a chance. They're in the 8th out there at GABP. Ron, what'd you get into last night? There's been so much news the last 3 days that we've kind of just shelved the niceties. We've kind of gotten out of the personal life story because we've had to go right to the portal. That's given you a little bit of an indication that there's there's some stuff going on with the portal. I think maybe there's a visitor right now on campus that we'll talk about. But
what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's starting to percolate, starting to spread a little bit. But the no big news today. We're still waiting for some sort of word on Alvaro Falgueras. We're waiting to hear word from Adrian Woolley. All of that stuff is still kind of out there. It's been quiet today on that front. So I can ask, without anybody getting too mad, how was your Wednesday night, buddy?
It was pretty good.
Watched a little NBA?
Watched a lot of NBA. Got some beat-ups with the girlfriend.
Ooh. I haven't had beat-ups in like 10 years.
Talked on a little bit of Breakdown 502 with Rashawn, which shout out Rashawn. Go give his account a new follow at Rashawn Myers.
Oh, does he have a new one?
He did, yeah. At, just his name, RAASHAAN Myers.
It's so many A's.
10 A's.
So many A's.
But at Rashawn Myers on X, that's his new account. We streamed last night on the Breakdown 502. He's going to be doing a weekly live stream pretty much for every commitment. So
nice.
Talked about Carter Knox a little bit last night with him. Ate some B-dubs. Did a little bit of crawling. Watched a little bit of NBA. Got my bets all right. Tampa Bay Lightning would have costed me a 5-0 night on the ticket punchers, but it's all good. 4-1, still a great and profitable night there.
Why are you betting on end of regular season hockey? The teams are either the playoffs are set. Nobody's trying.
I like to try to get around that. I like to try to think that I know more than I do when it comes down to that stuff.
Yeah, it's playoff time, which the Avs are going to open on Sunday.
Backup goalie and the rest of the starter. They're going to win tonight.
They are. That's exactly what's happening. There are no playoff spots up for grabs. It's done.
Lightning costed me.
That's done. Avs will open on Sunday. We're not sure who they're going to play. It's the second one.
Got their money line tonight.
The NHL has the worst playoff format in sports. They don't just do I'm fine with letting teams in the way that they do. It's the 3 divisions per conference. The top 2 teams in each division make it, and then the 2 best teams outside of that are the 2 wild card teams. But then they the way that they seed things. If you took it just based on best overall record or most points, because that's how the NHL does it, we have a first-round playoff series in the Eastern Conference pitting the number 7 seed versus the number 8 seed. Should never happen. And there is an opportunity. I mean, the Avs and the Oilers are probably the 2 best teams in the West. Stars are up there. Stars are very good. But maybe the 2 best teams in the West. There is an opportunity if things go perfectly or imperfectly, however you want to phrase it, tonight, that the Avs could play the Oilers in the first round because of the way that they do their playoffs. It's absolutely ridiculous, but neither here nor there. I've got a quick question for you. How was beat-ups last night? Because I've got some thoughts on this.
So, you remember when I tried to, I thought I explained to you, beat-ups has started these new locations where it's just to go.
Okay.
It's called the Beat-Ups Go.
Okay.
I only know of 2 of them. One over there in the Highlands, one over here on campus. And I have only had great experiences from these 2 spots. I was a big beat-ups goer in high school. Felt like at least once a week in high school, being the buddies were going.
Oh, that was the height of beat-ups. Everybody was beat-upsing it up.
I was going like once a week by myself on top of that.
I loved beat-ups.
And then they made a shift with their breading and the chicken size on top of it was more
fell
breading.
Off amazingly.
You were getting more breading than chicken for like a 4 year straight.
Terrible.
Then they addressed it. They didn't really address it though. And then there was a fall off with the traditional wings too. I don't know what's up. I don't know if they're sending different packages of wings to these go spots. They're thick. There's not more breading than chicken. They're hot. They're cooked well. They're sauced well. I get the dry rub. I do a dry rub in a sauced flavor. The dry rub is not too much, not too little. I'm having a good experience.
You're saying beat-ups is back.
Beat-ups Go is the way to do it.
Okay.
Who wants to eat at the beat-ups anyway these days?
I probably haven't had beat-ups in 10, 15 years.
Beat-ups is the one spot where the server literally has to do less than the average restaurant, and you still seem to
This is very true.
It feels like I rarely get a good, accurate server.
And they're acting like they're doing you favors. That's how I always felt.
You bring the napkins and you bring everything right at the beginning.
They're like,
unless I need a refill on the drink, I quite literally am not going to need anything.
I guess I can get you a water. Jesus Christ. That's how I felt.
Yes, I'll go see if there's a third milk container because you can't handle the blaze. Why are you getting mad at me? Because I ordered the blazing wings and need some milk. Like that. Yes, I need some milk. Yes, the wings are hot. You knew that. You should have the milk ready for me.
It's a wing establishment.
Can't find any more milk. What? 2 cartons. You should have a box of cartons back there.
The last several times I went to beat up, I think this was actually before I was married, because there was one at the old house I used to live at, right off Westport Road, kind of close to us. It fell off so. Actually, I remember specifically, it was post marriage. There was one time I got, I was like, is this like a chicken head? Like, I was like, what is this? And it grossed me out so badly that I was like, I can't, this is it. They've fallen off before. The service is terrible. The food is not at all what it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I'm done. I've not eaten at Beat Up since. And all that I've heard since then has confirmed my decision, where it's like, Beat Ups is just, it's terrible.
It got to the point where if I had reason to go to a Beat Ups restaurant, I was getting the burger.
Ooh.
The burger's good. I don't even get traditional wings from there anymore. If I'm craving traditional wings, Beat Ups doesn't come to mind.
By the way, if any of the local Beat Ups would like to advertise on the show, we can make.
Beat Ups go. If you want to help, rock with the Run In and Mike Rutherford show here, help us. Let us know.
I don't know if I still don't know if that would be a proper advertising opportunity for Beat Ups go. Like, I don't know if, hey, traditional Beat Ups sucks, but Beat Ups go is great. I think they're all under the same umbrella.
Takeout's the way to go.
Yeah, it's like don't worry about dining in at McDonald's. This is an advertisement for McDonald's drive-through. I don't think that the parent company is going to be okay with that. Probably not going to happen. But glad to hear that you had a good experience. Glad to hear that you had a nice Wednesday evening. Mommy is finally home at the Rutherford house. Thank God. She got back about a couple hours ago, or I guess just like an hour ago. And John has had a chance to see her. Very excited, but Dad hasn't been getting much sleep. Dad is worn out, tired. There's been a lot of stuff going on. Still feel like I haven't fully recovered from last weekend in Augusta. Not that I'm complaining, but I am just we've had a lot of stuff going on. And got home last night, just trying to get homework done and trying to get the kids properly ready for bed. It's a lot. And then I feel like they're constantly waking up in the night and going to get me and doing stuff. So it's been a ton. So here's how tired I was last night. I was like, I finally want to watch. This is what Dad does when he gets some time alone. I was like, I want to watch the Laguna Beach reunion. Came out last week. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I want to check it out. Laguna Beach meant a lot to me when I was in college. Big time show. Loved it. Want to see what those kids are up to. I made it like 20 minutes in, and it wasn't like I passed out on the couch. I was like, I'm so tired. I'm so fried. I can't focus on what's being said. I didn't have the brain capacity, Roman, to follow the Laguna Beach reunion episode. I was just like staring at the distance. It was one of those where you realize you've been looking at the TV and you haven't processed anything from the last 5 minutes. I'm like, I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't know what's happening here. And that was the cue. It's like, all right, maybe let's go upstairs and let's lay it down. This isn't working for you. I was like, I'm so just dead now. My brain is so old and fried that I don't have the processing power to follow along with the Laguna Beach Marathon or the Laguna Beach reunion. So that's where we were last night. Thankfully, we're back a little bit. We're trying to catch up on work. We're being pulled in a lot of different directions, but that's okay. We're happy to be here. We're happy to be talking. We're happy to be doing radio for the next 3 hours. Gameday Mens Health text line 502-414-1450. YouTube chat already popping off over there a little bit. Producer Keith is weighing in on the B-Dubs controversy, if you will, saying the Wings have sucked ever since they got bought by private equity. Maybe that has something to do with it. I didn't really keep up with the whole behind-the-scenes Beat-Ups talk. All I know is the food fell off dramatically, and that was it. That was it. Mark Pope did get a transfer last night. Zoom Diallo. Okay.
About time.
I mean, also not an overly efficient player, but they needed somebody. They got somebody. Cool. I'm having one of those professional conflicts where I'm trying to juggle the whole objective college basketball guy versus the clearly over-the-top Louisville fan dynamic, because they've asked me to write about Mark Pope in Kentucky for tomorrow. And it's one of those where I'm like, I'll do it. They're like, can we talk about all the guys that they've missed and the pressure that's on them? I'm like, I will try to do it in a non-point and laugh, ha-ha type way. But the intended audiences are going to handle it a certain way. You know how this is going to work. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow when I get this thing out there. It's, I'll try to be fair. I think that you can be pretty fair while also being pretty harsh, because it's been kind of a harsh offseason for Mark Pope and company. Let's talk about Louisville on the portal side of things. No, I mean, if you're listening to this, you probably know. No gigantic news, no commitments out there, no players that we're targeting saying that they're going elsewhere. It's been sort of all quiet on the Western Front for the last 24 hours. The buzz was very strong surrounding Alvaro Folgueras yesterday, and I think that there was a lot of talk that maybe we could have news imminently on that front. Did not happen, obviously. We're kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern. I know the question's going to come up. People will say, do we need to be worried about this? Should we be worried about it? We don't need to be worried about this. As of right now, nothing has changed. That's my understanding. Until I hear otherwise, I believe we're good on the Alvaro Folgueras front. I believe the same is true with Adrian Woolley. No, the fact that he has not made any sort of official announcement does not worry me. I think that we're good there for right now. If things change, I will let you know whenever I know. If you remember a year ago when we've been doing this, now I guess we've had 2 years of kind of learning how the staff is going to handle the portal and handle the unveiling of the portal. Remember last year we got a flurry of commitments all sort of at the same time, and after that there was a second wave of players announcing that they were returning, kind of all at the same time. And Louisville did this, like, they wanted to slow roll the news. They kind of wanted everybody to have their own day. Remember, like, they would, here's Ryan Conwell, he's officially committed to the Ville, and like, here's video of his highlights. They had this whole kind of package that they laid out there, and let the fan, like, let that be Ryan Conwell's day. Let this be Adrian Woolley's day. And then a couple weeks later it was, let this be Javon Hadley's coming back day. Let this be Kase Prior's coming back day, and all that stuff. I would assume that we're going to have something similar this year, where they're not going to let big pieces of news overlap on the same day. They kind of want everybody to have their own shine. I'm not saying that that's why we haven't gotten any sort of news today on Folgueras or Woolley, or why it didn't come out yesterday. But I do think that that's probably the way that they're going to handle things. Now, there is a rumor out there. We can deal in rumors a little bit. It's rumor season, right, Roman?
It is. It's what this time frame of the season's kind of thrived on.
We're just talking, whatever. But there is palpable buzz that a fairly highly touted player in the portal is meandering around campus right now. Now, he's not there by himself, I can't imagine, but just kind of sauntering around, taking in the sights. And the player we're talking about, I mean, I assume you and I have heard the same player based on your acknowledgement.
Yep.
Have you heard Deshawn Good?
I have.
Okay. So as long as we're in the same boat, I feel good about that. Deshawn Good, Robert Morris transfer, played his first season at IU Indianapolis, transferred to Robert Morris last season. Maybe you have a little bit of I mean, he didn't play with Alvaro Folgueras there, but they both did go to Robert Morris at various times. Maybe they can bond over that. But was very good for the Colonials last season, averaged 15.2 points, 8.7 rebounds per game, shot 57.1% from three on just a little bit under 2 attempts per game, so obviously picked and chose his spots, 62.9% from the field. This is a 6'8", 230-pound forward. He fits kind of that power forward mold that we've been looking for. Do you have like this is the kind of guy that I think we were looking for at the 11th hour last year in the portal? We were talking about, okay, you've got to go get kind of like a bigger than Javon Hadley, bruising power forward who can help you out on the glass and finish around the rim effectively and play more physical ball. I'll let you take the first swing here. Obviously, there's nothing. I've got no indication about how serious this is, or whether or not Louisville's the front runner, or whether or not they're trying to get him locked in before he leaves. But Deshawn Good as a potential Louisville Cardinal, initial thoughts here.
I like it. I think that he gives you a lot of versatility with how you can operate with your two bigs at the 4 spot. I think he can come in and be in the pick and roll. He can pick and pop. He can hit that push shot down low.
Mm-hmm.
He can put a shoulder into his man and actually move that man away from him, which is something we've been needing. And I think that ultimately it's not a player that commands the basketball. It's not a player that wants to come in here and be the guy. When you look at like where he's coming from and the kind of numbers, you'd think maybe at a program like here, probably more of like a 7th, 8th man kind of a piece. But I think with the guys that you brought in, you need those 3-and-D role kind of guys that can also go and get a bucket down low for you. He can do that.
See, I don't know, man. As far as
don't know if he's starting level, but
I think he might be. I think that they're he strikes me as a guy, they can't all be guys that produce at a high level at a major conference. If you're averaging 15-9 essentially at the NEC level or the Horizon League level, I kind of feel like you're wanting to be a starter at the power conference level. Now, you may get beat out when the time comes, but I'd be willing to bet that their pitch is kind of like, we want you to be playing alongside Flory Badunga at the center position. Maybe we've already got this guy lined up to be the 3. You are, Carter Knox right there at the 3. It's a solid progression. We're fitting more of the traditional positional roles. 6'6" small forward, 6'8" power forward, 6'10" center. There you go. He's a player who kind of, it falls in line with what we've seen from their trends in targeting in the portal so far. He's a guy that got the bulk of his points right at the rim. If you look at his shooting numbers, 52.2% of his scoring last season was at the rim. If you want to add in shots from inside the paint, like you said, he does the little push shot, takes the kind of the 8-footer every now and then. If you add in those shots just in the paint, 75 exactly percent of his shots came from inside the paint, his scoring. He made a grand total of 36 three-pointers last season, and then only took 10 mid-range shots, made 4 of those. So he's a guy that wants to get to the rim, wants to use his physicality, wants to score there, handles it well enough. He's been targeted by a number of the highest profile schools in the country. Kentucky had an on-campus visit last week. Kansas was going hard after him. I think those schools are still involved, but Louisville apparently trying to make a play and kind of doing it a little bit under the radar. There hasn't been a whole lot of buzz about Deshawn Good being linked to Louisville, but they've got him on campus there. So there you go. Oh, Connor Phillips got ejected. We threw it Willie Adamas. Spencer Steer got hit first pitch today. Crazy stuff happening with the in the Reds game, but also we're losing. So that's the latest on the portal. We'll obviously keep you up to date if anything else is going on today. This feels, I don't want to jinx anything, Roman. This feels like a day where something happens during the show.
Feels like an announcement day.
It does. And I'm not saying that because I know something's happening. So.
I am. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
You got me excited for a second.
I'm just kidding.
It just has that, every now and then there's a certain feeling in the air when you come on here and do a show. I mean, the perfect time would be after the break when we're interviewing the Lou City coach. Like we're talking about to Simon Bird about, Lou City taking on, whoever the next few weeks and how they've played on the road compared to how they've played at home. And then it's like, bam, we just got out of nowhere, Juke Harris is a Cardinal. And you're like, oh my God, we gotta finish this. But, hopefully it'd be a good problem to have if that does wind up happening. Thunder over Louisville is Saturday. I know Lou City is pushing this hard. It's their most well-attended games of the season every season. We'll talk about everything going on down there. Do you have Thunder plans this year, Roman?
I think I'm going to be at the game.
You're going to Lou City?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go grab some tickets for Holly and I or if I'm going to apply for the media credential, but one of the two.
So you're either going to go with your girlfriend or just leave your girlfriend high and dry.
Might do like the get one ticket, do the media pass, and then her friends are planning to be near the Lynn family at that time of when the game would end anyway, so maybe I send her out there and go find them.
Now, let's talk about this before he calls in. Do you want to ask questions during this interview? I mean, you're a soccer guy.
I might have a question about that second goal, specifically in the cup set.
Okay. Just let me know.
Okay.
You have to, send me a text or something.
Okay.
This is the only problem that comes when we can't see each other.
It.
Okay. All right. We'll get there. Simon Bird will be calling in after the break. We'll have him on the show, talk all things Lou City, get you ready for a big weekend out there at Lynn Family Stadium. Keep the text coming on the Gameday Mens Health text line. We'll get to you after the break. It's the Rutherford Show. Back after this here on 1450 The Big X. Welcome back in. 3 o'clock hour here. Mike Rutherford Show, 1450 96.1 Big X Sports Radio. It's a big weekend across the city of Louisville. Thunder over Louisville kicks off the Kentucky Derby Festival. We got all sorts of events going down across the city. One of the big ones is the Lou City Boys in Purple back in action at Lynn Family Stadium. Coming off of a big, I every time I say it, I just love saying it. The Cup set on earlier this week against Austin FC from the MLS. Boys in Purple have been hot. To talk more about that, we welcome in the head coach of your Louisville City FC squad, Simon Bird, joining us on the Collier Law Firm hotline. Coach, how are you on this Thursday afternoon?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you doing?
We're doing well. Obviously, this has been sort of a whirlwind for you. Thrust in as the interim head coach a couple months ago. The squad 5-1-1 since you took over as the interim head coach. Have you had a chance to kind of get your bearings, or is there any time for that in a situation like this one?
A chance to breathe? No, not really. It's been fun though, man. Everyone's been wonderful. The players, the staff here, everyone upstairs, and the ownership has been great. And it's I've been here 6 years now, so I know how the club runs. I know the players well. Help as a big part in bringing all of these players in. So it's not as difficult of a transition as you might think. It was obviously disappointing to lose Danny when he went to Minnesota, but I felt like I was, ready to kind of take the helm for now, and so far it's been really great.
How did you sort of traverse that when it comes to, like you said, you've been with the organization for 6 years, you know how things operate here. Obviously, it's, the season's here, so there's not a big chance to kind of flip things entirely. But how do you go about keeping the good parts that Danny had and making sure that the status quo is maintained, but also adding a little bit of your own personal touch to how things operate on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I think that's it, really. It's maintaining the standards that we've set for so many years, and the accountability piece, and the attitude every day that we bring in. It's maintaining that, but stylistically, adding my own kind of, I guess, tweaks gradually. But not a whole lot's changed. Tactically it's very similar, same shape, same ideas, really. Just trying to add a few more bits, particularly for the attacking piece, but continuing to be defensively strong. So nothing, no major boat rocking or anything. It's like you said, you nailed it, where it's you kind of status quo a little bit, but just adding your own touches on it.
For those listening who don't know, I mean, you are a former Louisville Cardinal. You were a captain at U of L. You were a former Conference USA Player of the Year. You coached with Ken Lola for a little bit of time. I know you're not from here originally, but the soccer community in Louisville has to mean a great deal to you at this point.
I had 3 very successful years, and just loved the people here, loved everyone that supported the program. Ended up going back to England and playing for 6 years. But I always had it in my mind that I wanted to return to Louisville. I always wanted to return to the U.S. and to Louisville. And, throughout my playing career, I always knew that I wanted to coach afterwards. Quite honestly, I'm not very good at much else other than football or soccer, So but, it's like when you move to Louisville, you live in Louisville, and you become a Cardinal, that's for life, man. It's like, it's awesome. I still love going to soccer games. I still love going to watch U of L football, U of L basketball. So I'm a Card through and through.
I got to ask you, because the timeline, we're about the same age, and I had a handful of friends that were playing Louisville soccer at the same time. One of them may be listening right now. Do you please make fun of him if you do. Did you remember a young man by the name of Clay Talley who played Louisville soccer back in the day?
Oh yeah, Clay. So Clay played. I would have been in my second or third year, maybe my last year. So we had Clay was a good player. We actually played the number 3 St. Louis team away at St. Louis in front of a packed house there and beat them 2-0. That was probably one of the highlights of my time, and I remember Clay playing in that game, and yeah, great kid.
I called him slow early on in high school. He never forgave me for it. I still call him slow to this day. So you just know that Clay Talley didn't have the speed to keep up at the U of L level. We're talking with Lou City FC head coach Simon Bird here on the Collier Law Firm hotline. You guys have already had a big week. Got we're calling it the Cup set. Big upset of MLS squad Austin FC. First time that Lou City has knocked off an MLS squad in 8 years. It advances you guys on into the round of 16 of the U.S. Open Cup. I know it's not a league match, but in terms of visibility for the franchise, wins like that have to be it feels like that's an enormous deal for you guys, is it not?
It is, yeah. Cup competitions is a little different in soccer, world soccer. We have obviously the league, and then we have these cup games as well. The cup is it's like they say the romance of the cup, right? You get the lower league teams playing against the bigger teams, and you can have these upsets. And yeah, it's fantastic for the club. It's fantastic for the fans and the people here. But for us, it's it's a little cliche, but we expect to go out there and compete, and we knew going into the game that we could certainly give them a good match, and we felt like we could get the win. And I think the most pleasing thing about it was the way we did it. I thought we really thoroughly deserved the win. We came out flying, and we're 2-0 up after 30 minutes, and they gradually got back into the game, which you expect. But no, we hung on, and the fans were awesome. They kind of helped us through those last few minutes where your backs are against the wall and you're defending for your life, and it was just a really cool night. We play Houston next away for another MLS team, and that's another game we're looking forward to. We fancy our chances there as well.
One of the more impressive things about the win on Tuesday, you guys were playing without, three of the better players, Jones, Lambert, McFadden, missing some time with some injuries. Do you have an update on the status of any of those guys?
Yeah, they're all getting closer. They're all kind of longer-term injuries as far as, multiple months. Josh is obviously another U of L guy, right? Josh signed with us last year from U of L. He's probably, getting close, and maybe he's in contention for that Houston game, but he's a couple of weeks away. Kev is, that's a tricky one because he's still having some pain, but he's feeling a little bit better. And then Aiden is a warrior, and that guy's he'll be back before we know it, so he's probably 2 or 3 weeks away as well.
You guys have Jacksonville coming to town this weekend. It's going to be a revved-up crowd. The Thunder over Louisville at Lynn Family Stadium is always a big-time deal. What can you tell us about the squad that you guys are going to be squaring off against in league play on Saturday?
Yeah, they're a good team. They've started a little slow from a result standpoint, but they're a dangerous team. They've got good attacking pieces. If we're not switched on defensively, they can really hurt us. So we've got to be on point defensively. But I think with the ball this year, we've made big strides, and every time we get the ball, I feel like we're going to create chances and we can score goals. So we just have to make sure we're clean at the back, we're collective in our approach defensively, and that we do our jobs. We're
talking with Lou City head coach Simon Bird here on the Collier Law Firm Hotline. Going back to your time at U of L, everybody, like I said, I had friends that played at Louisville. I've had friends that have coached at Louisville. They all have great stories about Ken Lala and his ability to effectively serve as a messenger, and how he takes these narratives and spins them into motivational tactics. What did Ken Lala mean to you in terms of your career as a player and now transitioning into being a full-time head coach?
Yeah, I learned so much from Ken. It was my first real kind of coaching job, I guess. I was a volunteer assistant for 3 years under him, so we became very close, and there isn't a better motivator in the land. He's fantastic, and his ability to get the best out of players as people, as human beings, is second to none. And then from a soccer standpoint as well, it was great because it was my first. You go into these jobs, first ever role as a coach, and you think you know it all, and then you get there and you're like, oh, this guy's really good. So it was really eye-opening for me, and I was, it's great to see him. I don't see him very often anymore, but when I do see him, it's really good to catch up. He's a great human being.
Obviously, you are very, very busy these days, but once the fall rolls around, how much of a chance do you get to keep up with the current U of L men's soccer squad and what they're doing under now John Michael Hayden?
Yeah, I try to as much as I can. We see John Michael a lot, and he's doing a fantastic job as well. It's obviously busy time, but we try and get out there when we can for multiple reasons. One, because I'm a card, and I'm here to support the lads, but two, there's some really great players that we want to watch as well, and it's great they're in the ACC, and we get to see some of the best players, some of the best collegiate players in the country on our own doorstep. So yeah, it's awesome. It's and really hopeful, really optimistic about this coming season.
when you last one, we'll let you get out of this. We're talking about the Derby Festival and Thunder over Louisville and Lou City and racing being so interlocked with it now. When you first got to Louisville from England, how bizarre was it for you to try to kind of process the fact that we celebrate for 3 weeks leading up to a 2-minute horse race? How difficult was that for you?
Yeah, but you know what? I was pretty prepared because I talked about the lads picking me up from the airport and the seniors that were kind of looking after me when I was a freshman, and they would all be like, "Oh man, you just wait until April and May. You're gonna have the best time of your life." And I was thinking, yeah, well, whatever. And then when it rolls around, you're like, "Oh my God, this is incredible." It was a very different experience to what I experience now when I go to Derby and when I go to Thunder, and when I do get to go. It was back then. It was infield, kegs and everything like that. It was a different level, but brilliant time of the year. Awesome time to be in Louisville, and it's the people here are fantastic, and it's such a cool celebration. So I'm happy that we're playing. Disappointed that we're going to be away from home. We've got a game away during Derby, so I'm going to have to miss this one. But that's part of it.
The early 2000s were the days. You got here at a good time to enjoy the infield. Coach, congratulations on the big win on Tuesday. Congratulations to the hot start. Best of luck this weekend, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again sometime down the line.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
That is Simon Bird, the interim head coach of the Louisville City FC squad, joining us there on the Collier Law Firm hotline as they get ready for another USL League match on Saturday against Jacksonville, coming off the big upset, cup set of Austin FC in the round of 32 of the U.S. Open Cup. They'll take on Houston in the Sweet 16 of that tournament coming up here in a couple of weeks. Big thanks to Coach for spending some time with us, and big thanks to the Collier Law Firm for proudly serving this community for over 10 years now. If you've been hurt in an accident or hurt on the job and you're looking for the best place to turn, the Collier Law Firm's got your back. Not your wallet. That's why their attorney fees start at just 25%, not 40 or 45 or 50% like some bigger firms in this area. Call them today at 502-736-8141 or go online and visit CollierLawFirm.com, COLYER lawfirm.com. Hurt in an accident or hurt on the job, call your law firm. Big thanks to Coach Bird joining us there, talking a little soccer. We don't get a chance to talk that much soccer, but it is that time of the year around here where Lou City and racing start to take more of a central role in the Louisville sports community. And then obviously we'll focus on John Michael Hayden and the new coach for the U of L women's soccer team next fall as we get ready for that. Roman, any thoughts there on what Coach Bird had to say?
No, I think it's cool that he still tries to get to the U of L soccer side and watch them play and take advantage of having a good team like that in the city. I think it's awesome that he's wanted to be here, wanted to stick around.
I was hoping he'd make fun of Talley a little bit more. Clay Talley, now lawyer to the stars in Charlotte, North Carolina, we went to high school together, played at U of L for a couple of years before transferring to Lehigh, and I always enjoy making fun of Clay. If I have a chance to make fun of old friends on this show, I'm going to take it. So thanks to Coach Bird for indulging me on that front. The Reds have lost now, Roman. Reds take a 3-0 defeat. It's okay.
Tough one.
We'll move on. Won the series. All you can do is win series. We're on to Minnesota. We're focused on the Twins now. Did you say, speaking of before people are like, stop talking about soccer. I saw last night, we had the big upset of an MLS squad. I saw that a third, USL League One team, the league that the Lexington team started off in from Knoxville, knocked off DC United last night in PKs. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah. That's why I enjoy the tournament. I know people always like to say, well, you can't focus too much on that. It's more about USL and it's more about the league and winning the league and all that stuff. There's something to be said for you get your highlights on SportsCenter and you get that name recognition a little bit if you knock off these MLS squads. And last night,
huge win.
Yeah, one Knoxville Sporting Club who plays in USL League One. They were the champs of that league last year. They knocked off DC United in PKs to take down the 4-time US Open Cup winners. Knocked them off. First ever win for that club over an MLS squad. That was kind of also the big run that FC Cincinnati made a few years ago. Was kind of what launched them into the MLS. I think that if that hadn't happened, we would have had at least something of a shot to get that spot in the MLS. But people saw their crowds and how rowdy they were and, the quality of play and all that good stuff. So it would be great if we could make a similar run. You go on the road, knock off the Dynamo, get into the quarterfinals, and make some magic on national TV. Let's do it. But yeah, third division team. I mean, what you know more about this than I do. Put this in basketball or like baseball terms for me, or any other major American sport. What's the equivalent of a third division United States team knocking off one of the better franchises in MLS in a tournament like this?
I mean, it's tough. It's tough.
Would it be like a okay college basketball team?
It's like Duke. It's like Bellarmine knocking off Duke.
Okay.
Not really Duke though. It's like Bellarmine knocking off of a top 25 team that's in the 20 to 25 range.
I was thinking more like one of the better teams in college basketball, like Florida last year, knocking off a G League team. Or is that too extreme?
I feel like that's not, I mean, you're really not far off.
Okay.
But that's close.
Okay. I mean, it seems improbable. The equivalent would obviously involve, I just stop saying obviously, I'm sorry. The equivalent would involve NBA players sitting out or G League players like resting their best players, because I feel like the MLS squads, they're in these early rounds at least, they're not usually putting out all of their best players. You've got a lot of subs that are seeing extra playing time. So that probably would factor into the equation, but I feel like maybe it's close to that or something of that nature. I don't know.
It's like if you took the best seniors out of college hockey who are not good enough to go to the NHL, put them all on one team, and somehow they knocked off an NHL team.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that's I can get on board with that. I want to give you an opportunity, since we're talking about professional sports. Last night, I did watch a little bit of the first play-in game, and then I saw the highlights when they were all over the internet of the second game. Sixers kind of take care of business with relative ease over the Magic. I was wrong about that one. Too much faith in Paulo, I guess. And then the Warriors, like you said, I was wrong about this one as well. Go on the road, take down the Clippers. Steph Curry turning back the clock. That was very fun to see.
Draymond's the one who really turned back the clock.
I saw you tweeting about it last night. I saw people saying
shut Kawhi out of that second half.
Saying he stepped it up defensively towards the end of the game.
Got away with a few, which he typically does.
Well, that's Draymond.
What happens when you're a good defender like that? You get away with a few.
What are the big takeaways from last night?
I mean, overwhelming takeaways is that the Paulo Banchero number one option leading your team to the promised land is not in the near future for Orlando anytime soon. There wasn't really much debate on this. I mean, Tyrese Maxey has shown the opposite. Like, I can be the guy, right? As long as you give me enough athleticism and support around me defensively, I can go out there and hold my own as the number one option. That's cool to see him solidify that in a playoff spot without Embiid. Out in the West, there's not much to take away. The Suns, I mean, Denny Avdia had an unreal performance. You don't really have much confidence in them getting out of the first round. The Hornets are going to give you another exciting play-in game, but I don't think there's anything that really changes the narratives for how the playoffs should go. Just Steph showing that he still got it, Draymond showing that he still got it. That's not going to be enough to get out of the first round. Still cool to see the Stars be in the playoffs, though. Well, they've got to win the next game too, but you like to see the old guys still go out there and do it. That's really the overwhelming takeaway.
So we've got now, but no games tonight, right?
Not tonight. We'll have two tomorrow.
So it'll be Hornets, Magic for one of the spots.
The two 8th seed spots tomorrow get solidified.
And it's Warriors, Suns on the other side. Right. I want the Warriors in the playoffs.
I do too.
I mean, I'm just like, I'm a Steph stan still to this day.
Even though the Suns have a better chance of keeping the Thunder like under 120 points.
I don't care. I mean, don't you want to see Steph Curry go out there and try to
Steph go out
single-handedly beat the Thunder?
Even if they get swept or lose in 5 games, I want to see Steph go out there and have 30 in each of those games. And keep them close.
That's the thing. Like, if they lose, if both teams are going to get blitzed, and they probably are, the Thunder are juggernauts. I want to see them get blitzed with Steph scoring like 55.
Yeah.
Like there's a real chance that we get a game where the Thunder win like 122 to 108, but Steph has 60 points. I want to see that.
I want to see that. And you never know, like Draymond's got that weird set, like the body type for Chet, which I don't even know how healthy Chet is at the moment, but the body how Draymond can push Chet around. That could be interesting. That could be a fun series for still believing the Thunder would win it easily. They can make it exciting. I think the Thunder could. The Warriors could.
Then I'm all in on just wanting the Hornets to be in the playoffs for vibes.
Yeah.
Just they're fun. Like, whatever. It's the NBA. They're not a real contender to win a world championship. Just get him in there.
And I want the Magic to deal with that headache. You just lost 2 times in a row with Paulo Banchero, your number 1 overall pick, with Franz healthy. You've got the starting lineup you think is going to be the one you need going forward, and it's not.
Do you have any idea? Because I don't. I know we always do right before the professional league start. We do our quick, here's who I think is going to be in the finals, or here's who I think is going to be in the Super Bowl, and here's who I think is going to win. Do you have any idea who we picked when we did that back in October?
I think we both picked the Thunder. Were you on the Nuggets?
No, I think I picked. I had to have picked the Thunder. I feel like I definitely did, but I don't remember who I picked in the Eastern Conference. I think I said I want to say I was I tried to go against the Celtics.
You wanted to say Bucks, or was that last year?
Last year I was all in on the Bucks.
Okay,
that was the year I picked them to win the whole thing. I think I said Knicks.
I think I said Knicks. I think I wanted to be outside of the box and say Nuggets on the Western side.
Yeah. Do you want to do revised picks real quick? Because I'm still picking the Thunder to win the whole thing.
It's going to be Thunder Celtics.
I was going to say Thunder Celtics. I think, let me ask you a more important question for the people listening. Is there a realistic opportunity for the Cavs to upset the Pistons in the conference semifinals?
Yes.
I think there is too.
Yes.
I can absolutely see Donovan pulling the upset in a 6 or 7 game, really good series.
Absolutely.
And then losing to the Celtics.
Absolutely a chance if San Antonio gets there at full health that they could knock off the Thunder.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch.
With that being said, Thunder Celtics, Thunder in 6.
The Thunder, what do you want me to say? They're really good. Sometimes it has to be.
I still believe a fully healthy Nuggets, fully healthy Aaron. I feel like the Nuggets at full health give them the most matchup problems. I'd like to see that series again.
Okay.
Only team that took them to 7. Oh, no, the Pacers did too. I forget
about that. Okay. There's a good story out there today that since we only have a couple of minutes here to wrap up the first hour. There's the changing landscape in college sports. There have been a myriad of stories over the past 4 years about the big changes in college football and college basketball specifically. But I highly encourage you, if you have time to kill and you want to read something interesting and you are a college basketball person, Matt Norlander wrote a really good story today about Dusty May, Michigan, and kind of the harsh reality of what happens when you win a national championship in the NIL portal era. Because I remember in 2013, Rick did the championship celebration the right way. Obviously, there were still some things to do. I think we had a couple of assistants move on, and so he was hiring guys, and you're looking for players. You're still doing some recruiting. But my man, so every time they went somewhere, whether it was vacation or a public event, they just brought the national championship trophy with them everywhere. I can't tell you how many times someone in his orbit would text me a picture of hey, Coach wants you to see this picture, and maybe put it on the website. It's I had 75 pictures of Rick and his family out with the championship trophy. It's living it up for a couple of months after winning the national title. That it feels like that's the way that it should be, right? Now, there's almost no time to celebrate because you've got the portal already open when you're cutting down the nets. So here's a quick snippet. He talked with Dusty May about this kind of phenomenon. And he said, when I did the interview with Dan Hurley before the game and Adam Zucker asked what it's like to hoist the trophy, he said, you've been to the Final Four. It's 1,000 times better than that. And I don't know if it's just me, but I heard where you climb the ladder and you say, is this really it? And it was worse. It was less than it. The journey was so much better than the destination. The finale of it all is almost disappointing because you have one of the most special groups of humans you'll ever be around, and in that moment, it all ends. And then the team gets on the plane after that. They land in Detroit in early Tuesday afternoon. Dusty May's wife asked, hey, are you going to come home and hang out a little bit, enjoy the celebration? And he said, I looked at her and I said, no. The portal beckoned. This is the job. She went left. He went right. And for the next 4 days, May and his staff took calls, scheduled Zooms, and worked on the portal on approximately a dozen players and at least twice as many agents. And this is after being a little bit picky. Last quote said, literally, it's such a blur because there's no time to celebrate. You meet with your seniors. You do exit meetings. You're meeting with your players and trying to figure out what your vision with them will be for the following year, plugging holes in your roster, trying to make sure you're generating NIL opportunities and attracting businesses and things of that nature. There's literally no time to think about what you just accomplished. Now, I'm not breaking out a tiny violin for Dusty May here. He's well compensated. He just won a national championship. But it does, it sucks for anybody who wins a national title in this day and age that there isn't at least a 48-hour period.
Boo-hoo.
Where you're but if we won it this year, I'd feel the same way about Pat Kelsey.
I wouldn't. You signed up for this. You know this is your goal.
Never a chance to celebrate?
No, your goal is to be in this position.
Then what's the point? If you don't get if you don't have 24 hours to feel good about what you just accomplished, just me.
Your program's successful. The kids in that program are successful. It's all because of you. You should be going to sleep with a fat smile every night.
It sounds like you're not going to sleep. You're just going right back to work. I don't know, man. I can see burnout being a big-time thing for
Nothing's
coaches over the next 10 years.
stopping him from going to the beach for a week with no cell phone.
There is. His job.
I mean, once the portal closes up.
Well, yeah. But that's like a month away. He's got stuff to do. Let's take a break. When we come back, Game Day Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. YouTube chat as well. We'll get to you guys after the break. It's the Rutherford Show. Hour number 2 is next here on 1450 The Big X. portal. Here we go again. Baba Watch 2026 is on.
Bring him in. Go get the best pure shooter you can get at the 2 spot. Bring Baba in.
I mean,
I'm saying that as we know that there's someone at the position on campus.
There is. Maybe that changes.
Bring him in too. Bring them both in. You know what? I was thinking about it. Carter Knox can play the 2.
Okay. Adrian Woolley can play.
We got Adrian Woolley.
Maybe.
Those 2 guys, that can be your scoring aspect of your backcourt. You got Jackson Shelstead to command things with the ball in his hands. Go get him a backup. You got Woolley. You got Knox. Go get you one more shooter. Bring in Good and Baba. And we've got the best roster in college basketball.
Deshawn Good's like trying to sign some paperwork, and Kelsey's just sprints over and just dives at the pen. It's like, hold on. Hold on. Wait.
I gotta play small forward.
I'm waiting on a text right now. The 3 dots are doing that thing. Let me see what they say. I'll give the pen back in a second, maybe.
Would you play small forward potentially?
Yeah, it's like, hey, everything that we just talked about over the last 5 hours, would you be okay with us scrapping it and you playing an entirely different role? How does that sound? Will you still sign right there? We'll see.
The money's similar. You'll be good.
I mean, Baba Miller will command, I'd be willing to bet, an extreme amount of money in the portal once again. Kind of interesting that he's not choosing to stay with the regime change at UC, but UC's talking about they're spending big. Apparently he didn't like what he heard in the initial conversation, so here we go. Back in the portal. He'll be a big one, and he would be a great ad for us if we're interested. So we'll see how it all plays out. Let's check out the YouTube chat first today. We've been going to you guys second. You get perpetually upset about that. So we'll start with you guys today. Not quite as there's not as much going on today, so the conversation is not quite as robust, and that's fine. Stephen House says, I saw Pope got a transfer. Must have lost his lip balm before the visit. There we go. Great start. Louis says, Wingstop is much better than B-Dubs. I enjoyed Wingstop back in the day. I like to either get...
Wingstop's good. It's just super salty.
Yeah, it absolutely is very salty. I also like to make my own wings these days. Maturing. Growing up. I still enjoy the occasional Rumors run. Love Rumors wings. Love Mama's wings when I'm over there. Fab D's got good wings. I'll sample in the local delicacies, but I do like to make my own. Jason says, do we expect any news today or tomorrow? I can't give you a firm answer. I've heard. If I had heard, I would let you know, I promise. Kay Cochran says, hey, Mike, as a father who just sat through his kid's school's 2-hour production of Beetlejuice Jr. the Musical, I know how tough parenting can be. Keep up the good work. You're a good dad. Thank you. I've seen other people who have been to the Beetlejuice Jr. the Musical, so you're not alone. Seems like it's been a thing going around the city. Stalwart says, Good is almost built like Harrell, who was also 6'8". If he plays like Harrell, I feel pretty good about it. Midwest Reaction says, BBN comparing the Furman kid to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and saying they wanted Diallo more than Robert Wright the whole time brings me so much joy. Now, I'll say this about Alex Wilkins. I think he's really good. If they get Wilkins, it'll be like, I won't poo-poo on it. I think he's a very good player. If they get, I've been telling you guys for the last week and a half or so that I think that they're going to get Donnie Freeman. They're kind of catching up on that front. If they get Donnie Freeman, he's super talented. I feel like he's not a great culture ad. I think he's another one of those guys that I don't know if Mark Pope has the faculties to handle his personality a little bit or to motivate him in the way that he needs to be motivated. But he is supremely talented on offense. Wilkins is very good. If they get him, I will not crap on it. But the whole notion of we wanted Zoom Diallo more than Rob Wright is preposterous. Wright is a much better player than Zoom Diallo is, at least as of right now. BYU fan says news about Blackwell. I've not heard anything about how the John Blackwell visit went yesterday. Roman, do you have anything on that front that you feel comfortable sharing?
Not that I'm comfortable sharing.
The fact that you're not saying anything leads me to believe that it's not positive news.
It's not. Well, that's the thing is like it's inaccurate. So, or it's.
Well, don't say anything inaccurate.
No, I've been told two different things.
You've gotten conflicting reports.
Yeah, so I'm not
nobody really knows.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything.
The fact that I've not heard anything leads me to. I shouldn't even say that. I do feel like when there's been kind of a trend recently when someone says, "Hey, we're meeting with so and so," or a player's coming here, or there's a Zoom meeting or whatever. Kelsey's flying out here. Pretty quickly after that, when it's good news, I hear about the good news. When it's not good news, I don't hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I have not heard anything since the, hey, Kelsey's flying out there. And what I was told yesterday was the same thing that I think got spread around everywhere, which was flying out there, meeting with John Blackwell. We're shooting our shot here, but they recognize the ability, the fact that they're the long shot in this battle. So they didn't feel overly confident about their chances. I've not heard anything in the 24 hours since then, which makes me think that we haven't made any positive movement, but maybe there has been positive movement. They're just trying to keep it as secretive as possible. I can't tell you anything definitive at this point. Lord Master T says Baba Miller in the portal. I'm not sure if he has any eligibility left.
Shouldn't, but at this point, I'm sure he's been told he'll be able to find some. That's why he's in the portal. So,
speaking of, we got the, official is such a, I guess, relative word these days, but there was official word last night, that Kase Prior has hit the NCAA transfer portal. He still has to appeal for that 7th year. I'm told that he's probably going to get the 7th year. Like, I think he'll play college basketball next season if he wants to, but it sounds like it will not be at Louisville. Roman, any thoughts whatsoever on the unofficial official word that Kase Prior's time at Louisville has come to an end?
Not anything positive, not anything negative. I mean, he did what he could here when he was healthy. He wanted to be a presence here when he was healthy. When he was unhealthy, he still was a good person from what I always heard. So, no, I don't wish him any ill will. No good riddance type of factor in this news for me. I think that ultimately, if he wants any future of playing overseas or playing as a pro, he's got to go show he can do it for a lot of minutes a game somewhere. So that's what he needs to do.
I mean, it's always going to be
now,
sort
to
of
know that you
a story of what could have been, right?
To know that you potentially could have had a bigger role here and you didn't prioritize your rehab with full intensity, that I wonder what goes into that. Like, knowing you, the opportunity at hand there, wasn't locked in, Mike. It's that simple. He wasn't locked in. I'm going to say it. From what I heard, my interpretation of everything I've heard is that he wasn't locked in like he needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure it out somewhere else then.
I mean, this could be one of those the situations. People have always talked about the unintended consequences of players making money, and I think there was a lot of fear-mongering when that first, like, nobody's going to care anymore. I do think that you might be able to connect some dots and say, in a different era, the Kase thing could have gone differently. Maybe he takes the rehab a little bit more seriously.
You don't have a choice when there's no money on the line, or the money is still set to come in the future.
He's a millionaire at that point, like coming off of a torn ACL.
Already driving the nice Benz.
Don't get me wrong.
The nice clothes.
I think he wanted to come back. I do think he wanted to be a productive player. I think he obviously wanted to set himself up for an even better future in basketball. But maybe that, like, I mean, rehabbing from something like that is incredibly tasking.
I struggle with it every day.
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to do the things on the basketball court that I was capable of doing beforehand? And there is nothing in my life that will go, like, if I'm not capable of doing that, there's no impact on how successful my life can be. His kind of is impacted on that to an extent, if you love the game and if that's what you want to be doing. So to know that you didn't prioritize that like you maybe, like people thought one in his position should, with the tools and resources you are capable of having, I mean, I don't think that they felt like there was a big room for the ceiling to grow with what his role could be here.
I mean, if there's even that minor part of your subconscious saying, like, you're in a pretty good spot, even if you don't get up at 5 a.m. today and do all this stuff. Like, everybody knows if you go to bed thinking, hey, I'm going to set my alarm for 6:30 in the morning, but if I need to sleep in to 6:50, I can do that and still be okay.
You're not leaving the house till 8.
I mean, you're definitely not getting up before 6:50. You're 100% going to take it. If you go into that with that mindset, you're going to take that little advantage and you're going to exploit it. And I think there was maybe something with that when it came to Kase and what transpired over the past 16 months. I mean, I do think it'll always be kind of a story of what could have been.
Yeah.
Because he had moments early on in those whatever games where he looked really good.
That's what's so surprising about this is that you did all of the work just to get back to being a basketball player and then didn't do the work to make yourself have advantages on the floor again. I think that just goes to show that's the representation of what you just explained.
I think he also recognized that even if he didn't get fully back, someone was still going to pay him last season.
Get to the point where you can get up and down that court again.
I mean, now that it's over, I've hinted at this a lot over the last couple of years. Here's my understanding about how this all went down with Kase. So, we had extra money at the end of the portal cycle going into Kelsey's first year. And, it was everybody thought he was going to Arkansas because they had a lot of money and they were kind of talking about his fit there. Like, it was almost a done deal. I think it was Arkansas or Bama was the other school. All I know is Arkansas had him locked up. And then we were like, hey, we've got $1 million. And this was at a time when people weren't often getting $1 million in the portal. And very quickly it went from Louisville's not really involved with Kase Prior anymore to, boom, Kase Prior's a Cardinal. And, he was we saw the documentary where Pat Kelsey, after he gets injured, says, our best player, we just lost our best player for the year. They thought, I don't know if it was like they were banking on him 100% being their best player, if that was a little bit of hyperbole in the moment, but they were absolutely banking on him being one of their best players that season. And he gets hurt. They have the offseason. I think there's some murmuring that maybe he's not handling the early days of the rehab as seriously as he probably should have been. They all liked Kase. They all absolutely did. But Kase was he's a wild card. I don't think that's news to anybody else. So Kase, towards the end of the season, remember he's telling Louisville fans, like, I'm coming back. He's feeling the love.
Yeah.
Kase,
dunk videos.
Yeah. I mean, Kase during that time is under the impression that, like, they're going to give me $1 million again next year. Like we'll keep the same deal. Let's run it back. And like we talked about so many times on the show, like, you can't really have that. Like, it's not a multi-year contract. You are on a one-year deal, and your circumstances have changed. And now Louisville's got to go out there and get more players. And I think U of L kind of had to have a sit-down with him and communicate, like, we're not giving you seven figures. Like, we're not giving you anywhere close to seven figures. And Prior, at that point, he never officially entered his name in the portal, I don't think. But his agent absolutely went out there, and they kind of said, okay, well, we're not going to do it for anything less than X amount. And Louisville said, I think it's in our best interest that we go our separate ways. No hard feelings whatsoever. We want you to be great, but go out there and see if you can find somebody who will give you the type of money that you are saying you're worthy of. They go out there, they test the open market a little bit. They quickly realize he's not going to get anywhere near what he was hoping to get. And he comes back to Louisville. They start negotiating. Louisville signed him for $250K last season, which now seems like,
sheesh, Mike.
I mean, I'll say it. It's over now. But we were basically like, we can give you a fourth of what we gave you the year before. No guarantees about starting. We want to see how you're going to come back from your rehab, all this stuff. And I think at that point in time, he sort of realized, this is the best deal I'm going to get. I like Louisville. The fans like me here. It's a big city. So he knew, it's not $1 million. $250,000 is not nothing. So you've got that, already locked in going into the big off season for your rehab, that I'm going to still be a six-figure guy, even if I do nothing. And I think that maybe affected his, the hunger to get back to 100%, How could it not? It's not top dollar. He could have made more if he was his old self and was able to be a great player last year. But if you're still going to be paid that level of money, whether you play or not, it has to kind of factor into your subconscious a little bit, right?
Definitely. It's kind of worrisome a little bit.
A little bit. And look, someone will pay him again this year if he goes out there and he does get that 7th year of eligibility, knowing just based on his potential. It may not be $250, and it certainly will not be $1 million, but it will be it'll be something. No question about it. So, I wish Kase the best. Like I said, it's kind of I like it a little bit. Now, his, if you want to call it lack of maturity, is nowhere near the player I'm about to mention. But it was kind of like the Derek character situation when he was here at Louisville. Everybody loved Derek. Rick loved Derek. He just realized that he was a big kid and was not going to do the right things in any way, shape, or form. He wasn't out there, causing fights or doing illegal things or anything like that. He was just doing immature 19-year-old college kid stuff. And at a certain point, Rick was like, all right, you're not getting it. you're going to have to go because you're also having a negative impact on Earl Clark, who we think can be a fantastic player here if he blossoms a little bit. And so, kind of came down to that situation. It was like the dynamics a little bit similar, where the staff, I think, was not thrilled with some of the ways that Kase handled his rehab, but still liked him personally. Like all the talk about him being a good teammate, all the talk about him showing up for everything with a good attitude, like from my understanding, it was 100% accurate. I think he dealt with the media very well. He loved the fans here. I think he loved being a Louisville Cardinal. It just, like, there was kind of a minor work ethic issue at times this season. And Kelsey almost admitted that, right? When he talked about the practice stuff.
Yeah.
Where he was like, Kaysen finally had 2 good practices. I'm like, okay, well, you're basically telling us that he had not been practicing hard before then, and that he's only playing because he had a couple of good practices. And I think that kind of was an ongoing theme.
He implied that he wasn't playing at practice.
Yeah, exactly.
In the scrimmages.
Yeah. I mean, he was like, you gave us good days. It was like, you got to keep giving us good days, all this stuff.
I'm thinking that means like hard sprints on the side of the court. All right, Kaysen, you can play now.
I think there was kind of something like that. It's one of those things. I wish Kaysen nothing but the best. I hope he has a good year. If he does get that 7th year of eligibility, if he wants to go play professionally somewhere, I'm sure he can make that happen.
Look, I love
well.
Kaysen. Sounds like he was hanging out with Flory and Jackson all day. It might have helped out there. Did everything he could to be a positive personality here for us. So
yeah, absolutely. I hope he finds. I mean, look, go back to South Florida wouldn't be a bad move.
Mr. Mack down
You
there.
got Chris Mack down there. Mike James just committed to go back to play for Chris Mack yesterday. They got 8 guys locked in.
Did they just get Jizzle James?
No, he's going to Charlotte.
Oh, Charlotte. Okay, so those colors always.
So,
I linked those 2 jerseys up.
Have you noticed that Charlotte? I retweeted it yesterday, but Charlotte has a uniform that they wear that just says CLT across the front.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna have Jizzle in a CLT uniform.
Yeah.
Write your own joke. YouTube chat. Oh, I love how it's like write your own joke. There's only one joke to make right there. Joe says, "What about Blackwell visit for the balloon glow?" That's the big plan, right? You fly across the country, you go to L.A., you sit John Blackwell down, and you say, look, we'd love to have you in town this weekend. If you really want to get the best of Louisville, though, next weekend's the time to come. We got these balloons. We're going to blow them up. You'll be able to see these beautiful logos at the nighttime. We're going to watch that. We're going to watch it together. No phones. No substances. Just dudes vibing and looking at balloons. It's going to blow your bleeping mind. And then we lock him in. And then it's done. If John Blackwell doesn't commit anywhere before the balloon glow, we're good. Done. Louis Gregor says, Cavs going to the finals. Book it. Okay. Midwest Reaction says, no one else working a regular job gets to take a week to celebrate after they make a big sale or do something good at work. You know what Dusty May gets for winning? Millions and millions of dollars. Yeah, but he also, if you work a normal job, you do get a vacation, 2 weeks PTO? Most people do. He never gets that. I mean, it's a little bit different to, you can't compare being a college basketball. All I'm saying is you should have 24 hours. Whenever you get to the pinnacle of your profession. Like if we won we'll be the pinnacle of our profession. Is there a pinnacle of our profession? Are we already there?
I mean, I think it's like doing this on like ESPN.
Yeah, I guess. What's the Marconi Awards? Is that what the radio awards are? I don't know if we've ever been submitted for a Marconi Award. We probably should have been. If we won a Marconi Award and you think I'm coming into radio the next day, absolutely not. I'm hanging off the bridge. We've
got to have the best text line in all local radio markets.
We do.
Small-scale local radio markets. Surely we could win some sort of text line award.
If there is a text line, is that a weather alert going across?
I thought it was pretty outside.
It's gorgeous. There's not a cloud in the sky. What's happening? If we won a Marconi Award for the best text line, I'll give everybody who's ever sent a text into the show, even like Hateful Kentucky Guy, even all those people. We all have 24 hours to celebrate. We'll just take the city over. It'd be fantastic. McGreenery says, did you know portmanteau is portmanteau? I don't know. I have no idea what that means. Tanner Blood says, Mama's Barbecue, best smoked wings in Louisville. Very good. I feel like they used to be a little bit better.
I'm going to rock with the FABD smoked wings now.
I enjoy FABD.
I said it.
Dockery says, Roman, please, please, please tell me I'm pretty.
Shout out to Doc. Gorgeous.
Card Scott 5 says, I'm in downtown Cincinnati. When I listen to this later, I expect a shout-out for YouTube Nation. Shout out to YouTube Nation. Also, thank you for forcing the Reds to lose. You blew it. You and Richard Pitino. Every time Richard goes to a game, we get our ass kicked.
Saw Scott's pick on X. He has a nice seat. I love that he's like commenting on the stream when he can't hear it or listen to it yet.
That's love right there. Midwest Reaction says, Dusty could take 24 hours to celebrate and lose nothing. Saying otherwise is him taking himself too serious and putting too much pressure on
That's
himself.
what I was going to say.
You think so?
He had a week to celebrate. He'd just like sit in his house with a straight face.
Yeah. I don't know. El Marco Jackson from Kansas. Everyone talks about his potential. He headed to Georgetown. We'll see how that goes. Gameday Men's Health text line 502-414-1450. Gameday Men's Health, redefining men's wellness. No shortcuts, just results. Testosterone, peptides, weight loss, sexual performance therapy, and more. If you have needs in any of these areas, hit up GameDayMen'sHealth.com today. Texter says, hey, Mike, I'm assuming when all is said and done, we're going to be a top 5 team in roster spend, regardless of if we get Blackwell or not. While I would still like the team without him, I doubt we would be considered a preseason top 5 team, even with top 5 roster spend. To me, that's an odd problem, and the only theory I have is that the continuity of keeping good players is cheaper than going the college free agent route. Do you think that that would be the reason for the disparity if we end up top 5 in the country in spend, but aren't considered a preseason top 5 roster? 100%. I think you nailed it. I think the players who set up their deals to return to school before their season's even over, or in the first few days when the portal opens, or before the portal even opens, are probably settling for a little bit less money overall than they would have demanded on the open market. And maybe that's just a testament to those coaches and the relationships they have with those players, or maybe it's the players not being adequately informed. But yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense, right? If you are, like, they don't do preseason rankings for MLB baseball.
Yeah.
But if they did, I'd be willing to bet that by and large, the biggest spenders would always be top 5 in the power rankings, and that the exceptions would more or less be teams that have really good players on
average teams.
That have really good players on contracts where they're about to, when they're able to declare for free agency, they're about to get paid. Like the Reds have Ellie De La Cruz right now, who's not being paid anything that he's worth because he's still on his rookie contract.
Athletics had that kid last year.
Yeah, teams like that where it's, they've got guys locked in to contracts where they're not really being paid their worth. It's a little bit different, obviously, when you're talking about college sports and everybody being on a 1-year contract. But I think that's probably, you're right. We're going to be a top 5 spender. We're almost certainly not going to be a preseason top 5 team. I think there's also a little bit of just sort of confusion and doubt about how pieces are going to fit together. Like, you look at, in hindsight, Michigan being ranked where they were going into the season seems ridiculous. Like, they had, but you could have easily questioned if you wanted to. Well, Yaxel Lenneberg tore it up in Conference USA. Is he really going to tear it up at the same level in the Big Ten? Elliot Cadeau's a non-shooter. Is he going to be able to effectively run the point? They were, and it's not like they weren't highly touted going into the season. They were preseason number 7, but nobody had them. Like, the teams that were 1 and 2 and 3, if you want to toss Florida in there, were the best teams from the year before that had the most returning. Like, everybody had Purdue number 1, not your boy, not Roman. But that was just based entirely on, well, they're bringing everybody back. We know how good these guys are. They weren't a top 5 spender in the sport because they didn't have to be, because everybody just wanted to stay. They wanted to run it back. Houston returned the core, most of the core, of a team that probably should have won the national title. Florida brought back 3 starters from its national title team. UConn brought back a couple of starters from a really good team. So I think that nobody knows, the best portal team is always going to be taken with a grain of salt, because we've seen the best portal classes be really, really good or really, really bad. And there's no way to measure exactly how great pieces from all over the country are going to fit together, how the chemistry is going to work, and whether or not the coaching staff's going to be able to form that team into a cohesive unit. That's the way it is. But it's a good point. Let's take a break. More from you guys on the text line after the break. 1450 96.1. It's the Mike Rutherford Show here on Big X Sports Radio.
CW Jeffersonville.
There we go. It's a funky Thursday.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Funky Friday, but Funky Thursday today.
Why?
It was an accident at the beginning of the show, and then we just stuck with it.
I mean, so have you forgotten the days?
No.
I've been mixed up on days all week. I don't know what it is.
Yes. Like I thought it was Friday today.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like forgetting what days are supposed to be the music.
I thought yesterday was Thursday the entire day. You know, we've been our like healthcare, or not our healthcare, our childcare has been all mixed up because we were just getting back on Monday and we had to have different people watch the kids over the weekend. So it's just I feel like my head's been spinning the entire week.
Yeah.
Kings are playing tonight after playing a couple Friday games before this, so. I think that's probably going into your head as well.
Yeah.
So all sorts of stuff happening.
Watch along at our friends at Parlor Pizza today.
What are you guys doing for the game? So UFL Kings.
I'll be at home.
3-man front. Are we doing that from 5:30?
3-man front. We will have from 5:30 to 6:30 today, right before. Well, I mean, the game's at 8 o'clock, but we'll have that on the airwaves today. But I'm not going to be doing anything after that. I think Grant Skaggs, Matt Childress, a few of the guys will be doing the watch-along at the Parlor Pizza spot. I'll be tuned into the play-in game on one TV and the Kings game on the other TV.
I'm starting to doubt your commitment to the Kings.
Oh, wait, we have no play-in tonight. I keep forgetting there's no play-in tonight.
Tomorrow. You're watching non-existent play-in games instead of being fully focused on the Kings.
We will be focused on the Kings tonight.
I don't think
Got to watch Jason flick the bean.
Why?
Someone sent me a picture today from Facebook. If that's getting put on Facebook, we're going to say it.
Terrible rule of thumb that you just established right there. If it's okay on Facebook.
Diehard Kings fan on Facebook, he's saying it.
I don't think that that's allowed at all. If that's the rule, we're going to be off the air in 5 days. Maybe 5 hours. Probably 5 minutes. It's not going to happen. I mean, you know how much I want to get into this Pete Hegseth quote today? You know how much I want to talk about RFK Jr. chopping off a raccoon penis to study? I'm not going to do it. Do I want to? Yeah. Absolutely. Have you seen that?
No. Yeah, I saw it being spoken about, but I didn't look.
I mean, Hegseth accidentally quoting the Pulp Fiction, the Samuel L. Jackson famous speech.
Is that what he did?
Yeah, he claimed it was a legitimate Bible verse. He said it was like Caesar or whatever. It's a variation of Ezekiel, whatever, 25 something, but it's not in the Bible. It's like the wrath of man, and he's giving it, that's hilarious in its own right. The RFK Jr. chopping off a dead raccoon's penis to study later while on a family road trip is deeply, deeply unnerving. Deeply unnerving. I mean, I was a kid once. Sure had some weird thoughts. Never once in my mind did I think about chopping off a raccoon penis.
Not once.
Not once. Never entered into the equation. Didn't think about it.
Oh, I forgot to tell you something the other day.
Okay.
Literally the day you were making fun of me on the past squirrel traumas experiences we've had.
You love slaughtering squirrels.
I go home. I'm taking the trash out. And this is insane. I'm taking the trash out that day last week. We have one of those, like, outdoor waste trash cans that doesn't have a lid. It's just empty. We keep it in the back anyway, even if we're not using it. It's like 3/4 full with water. And I lift the trash can lid, throw the trash can in the trash in. I'm closing the lid, and I see the water flicker.
Oh, no.
And I'm thinking, what did I just – was that
a
tail? Did I just see a tail in the water? Immediately dump the bucket out, and, of course –
Squirrel goes flying.
Squirrel huffing and puffing from the pile of water.
You're drowning squirrels now.
There's a drowned squirrel behind the tent. So I immediately run into the house. I go get the broom that doesn't have a handle on, that doesn't have an actual broom on the bottom of it. It's just a handle. Because he's, like, breathing and his eyes are flickering. I go out there. Eyes are closed by the time I get back out there. No more movement, no more twitching. I try to, like, push the stomach with the broom just to
No, you didn't.
To replicate a CPR type of situation.
This is a made-up story.
I swear. I've got a picture.
How did you not lead with this?
I completely forgot to bring it up the next day.
Squirrel deaths have been, like, one of the staples of the show.
We're joking about it and talking about it. That, like, 6:45, like, not even a full hour after Ticket Punchers ends. Tried to save it. Couldn't get there.
What does this bring your squirrel body count to?
Like 3.
You murdered 3 squirrels.
Well, this one, I tried to save this one.
You drowned a squirrel.
I felt like this was your fault. You put that on me into the world.
I don't even know what to say about this. Okay, the story did end better than I thought it was going to, because when you said you went to go get the handleless broom, I thought you were just going to go slaughter this thing that was like half alive.
No, I thought I could bring it back. I thought I could maybe push the water out of its stomach.
I thought this was going to be yet another Roman squirrel mercy kill. I'm using air quotes for mercy kill. I think you just get off on slaughtering these things.
Did almost hit one at Seneca in the car. But that's different.
What is wrong with us?
That's different. The squirrels at Seneca are like a different color. They're a different breed of squirrel. They don't care that you're golfing. They don't care where your ball goes. They will run right up nearby the cart, and they were all massive.
They're like those college campus squirrels. Where they're like nobody scares us.
I'm thinking, he's going to get out of the way. We're headed his direction.
The college campus squirrels, they're like, how you guys have that deal with every other squirrel? We're like, we get out of the way. We're not getting out of the way.
U of L campus, the squirrels walk straight up to you.
Yeah, like
they're expecting.
I'm climbing on your leg. I don't give a damn. You got class, whatever. You're not walking around me. It's terrible. It's terrifying. But we have spring game tomorrow. We'll have Keith Wynn in studio for a little bit. Keith Wynn was supposed to be in for the entire show tomorrow, and then work got in the way. So I think he's only going to be able to hop on around 5 o'clock tomorrow. But he'll get you ready for the spring game. It's going down 6 o'clock at L&N Stadium, free of charge. Jeff Brom is going to divide the roster into offensive and defensive units. There's going to be a modified scoring system. The defense is going to be allowed to earn points. I think this is the same way they've done it the last couple of years, I want to say. It'll be like every other spring game we've seen. First few series will be some good action. You'll get a good look at the first teamers, good look at some of the guys who are going to be stars. Obviously, all eyes on Lincoln Keenholz tomorrow. We want to see how he looks as a passer, and also if they throw some new wrinkles in there to utilize that athleticism. And, it gets a little bit later. You start seeing some walk-ons, making some plays that you're probably not going to see on the field in the fall. But that's okay. It's a taste of football in spring. The weather looks like it's going to be good. Is that right? I mean, it's been so beautiful the last couple of days. I'm hoping it's going to be, look, high of 83 tomorrow, low of 60. Looks like no rain in the forecast. Make it out to L&N Stadium tomorrow. Enjoy some football. You won't have a chance for another taste until early September. Let's go Cards. Guaranteed to get a win. Funniest joke in the book every year. 502-414-1450, Gameday Men's Health text line. Let's get back to you guys and hear what you have to say. Reminder again, Gameday Men's Health, redefining men's wellness. No shortcuts. Just results, testosterone, peptides, weight loss, sexual performance therapy, and more. Visit GameDayMensHealth.com today to find out what they can do for you. Texter says, nope. Nope. Texas, Mike, IU's attracting a lot of attention right now. Will we face them again this year, or was last season's neutral site matchup a one-time thing? It was a one-time thing at the time. I don't know if they're planning on playing again this season. There's been no kind of talk about scheduling so far for the non-conference. They're doing well in the portal. I don't know if Aiden Sherrill's the type of get that they're acting like he is. But Marcus Burton's a fantastic player. There's no question about that. They are, they're kind of right up there with us in Tennessee for the fastest starters here in the portal. They are, if you look at 24/7 Sports, they've got the second best class just behind us. They've got Sherrill. They've got Burton. They've got, who else do they get? That was like, okay. I know they're recruiting the big Turkish kid from SMU, Itogalu, whose name I can never get right. But they've got one more player, right? Don't they?
No.
Or did the kid from SMU commit? Did I miss that? Now I'm doubting myself. Yeah, he's committed as of today. There it is. I heard it was probably going to happen. He's now locked in. They're doing well. Jaden Mustaf is the other kid that they've got, who is transferring in from Georgia Tech. Not as crazy about him, but they're looking good. Props to them. That makes the Aiden Sherrill, you can play him at the 4. He can be more of a perimeter guy because that's sort of where he wants to play to begin with. And Samet can do the bullying in the middle. Texter says, Carter Knox doesn't fit with Flory. He's not a good enough shooter. Flory can only dunk. Knox is always hurt. Shellstead missed a whole year because of his hand. I'm not high on this roster. Pat's overcorrecting. I don't think that's a Louisville fan. Because he also says he used the P word in there. I couldn't use that. It's not going to happen.
Well, I feel people consistently have been asking if they think this is going to be an overcorrection. Part of me feels like the front court needed an overcorrection.
I do too.
We were playing a mid-major style with our front court that just doesn't work with those kinds of athletes. Outside of the James Scott lob threat that we had in year 1.
Here's why it's so hard to talk about really any team now that's in sort of an ever-fluctuating state like we are. But especially for this particular instance with Louisville, we don't know how we're going to play. I keep seeing people talk about the pieces that we're adding and analyzing the situation with the belief that we're going to play the same style we have the last couple of years. There's no way that they're recruiting the way that they're recruiting if there isn't going to be a pretty significant philosophical shift coming up this season. But what exactly does that look like? I don't know. Nobody does. So how important is it that Carter Knox is a little bit of an up-and-down three-point shooter? I don't know. I don't know how many we're going to shoot this year. We may play entirely different on offense? Do we go with the complete course correction and try to play like Arizona next year? Probably not, but we don't know. Do we go more of the half measure and play like Michigan? Maybe. We don't know. We have no idea. It's all we can do is talk about the pieces themselves and their strengths, their weaknesses. What I don't want to see, and I know that people have jobs to do, I trust me, I get it. But all of the analyzation pieces, all of the breakdowns, they always feature a section where they talk about the fit. We don't know what they're fitting into. We know what Badunga does well and what he doesn't do well. Same for Knox, same for Fulgaris, same for Woolley, same for Shellstad. But the fit, we don't know what we're going to play defensively or offensively. So how big of a deal is it that he does A, B, and C well, but not D, E, and F? We don't know. No idea. It makes, I know that that's not a great take for a radio show as to have. I'd love to lie to you and just be like, I know exact Spanish pick and rolls everywhere next year. And
no way to know yet.
We just don't know.
2 new coaches in who are going to be major additions to the system we play. I think that when you look at the players we're bringing in, you're going to be forced to do a lot of things differently out there. It doesn't seem like there's a big priority of guards right now. So,
yeah,
it's going to be different.
Texas, apparently Alvaro Fulgaris is on UK's campus right now, and Mark Pope is pushing hard. He greeted Alvaro at the airport with him and his staff wearing traditional Spanish attire from the 1700s. They then performed storied Spanish ritual dances. They followed up this extravagant welcoming with a chariot ride back to campus, pulled by a horse, and sang original Spanish folk music for the ride. Did we just get lockered by Pope and staff? I only read that one because I glanced forward to see that it was a joke, because I was like, I don't think he's on UK's campus right now. I could see Mark Pope would be like, hey, man, you know, I'm a big Chris Columbus guy. Fulgaris was like, okay. What? You know, just Spanish hero, right? How about those conquistadors?
I know about Fernando Torres.
Yeah. Real Madrid, right? Barca? Most people call him Barcelona. I call him Barca. Once again, we're doing the thing where we give everybody the Belvedere voice. The Mark Pope jokes are just, they're not going to stop. They're too fun. They're hilarious. Texter says, hey, Mark, you never talked about your Friday night at Disney on Ice. I kind of forgot that we went to Disney on Ice. Was it similar to your experience a few years ago where you got into a fight with a childless couple? That didn't happen. That did not happen. I got I got negative glances from a Disney adult who kept his arm around his date the entire night because my kid, who was 3 years old, accidentally kicked his chair a couple of times. Like, you're at Disney on Ice, dude. No judgment here if you're a 55-year-old man taking a girl out on a date to Disney on Ice, but you've got to expect the kids around you are going to be acting like kids. It's just, that's the way it is. I kind of forgot that we did Disney on Ice. We went on Friday. It was John's first time seeing it. He's a big Stitch guy. Stitch was there, heavily involved in the show. Had a lot of fun. And when I say had a lot of fun, I mean they had a lot of fun, and I sat there making sure that we weren't getting transfer portal players while all that was going down. But it was a good time. Late night. Texter says, the Reds game yesterday was so much fun. But first, this is Dave, teacher from Jeffersonville. But first, I have some Kings Facebook drama that I need to clear up. Long story short, my friends and I got our section to chant "Flick the Bean" for Jason Bean, and he promptly scored two TDs. Some lady is now claiming that she started the chant, but she is a liar. That is all. Give my buddy the proper credit, ma'am, or else we'll send Killer Bean after you. And there's an image of Killer Bean.
See what I sent you?
You sent me the post, yeah. I don't know if I'm comfortable with this becoming a tagline. I know we pushed the envelope here a little bit. Flick the Bean feels like a step further in the direction. It's a little bit over the top. But then again, we had the U of L football putting out that video with that circular thumb motion. I'm just saying, we're getting all horned up this offseason.
What football needs. And
more horniness
outside of its coaches.
I don't. Roman, we don't need more horniness on the foot. Have you seen what's happening at Michigan?
The coaches don't need it. The fans and the players need it.
We got to get more horny?
Yes.
Why?
Makes you play harder. Makes you fan harder.
Literally or figuratively?
I'm not sure yet. Figure that out.
There's that.
Dave, I did like seeing like a couple of unaffiliated Louisville accounts went viral from quoting the football tweet.
Did they?
Yeah.
We've also got that reminds me too. I did a story. Have you ever heard I'm too young for this too, but the story got passed down to me. I don't know if you're aware of this. The whole thing about there was a time where Louisville, every single game, we would chant "Go Cards, beat Purdue," regardless of who we're playing. And it all started with the cheerleaders one season in I think the 80s. We were playing Purdue, and they had this cheer where like everybody, like one cheerleader held up the sign that said "Go," and then the next one held it up, said "Cards," and then it said "Beat," and then the last one said Purdue. So they would get the crowd to chant as they held the cards up. So we did the cheer against Purdue. We won the game. Great. They ran the cheer back the next game, and we were playing like Western Kentucky or something. And somebody screwed the last card up and accidentally still had the card that said Purdue. So they did the cheer. They said, "Go, Cards, beat Purdue." And like they realized they messed up. From that point forward, Louisville fans never won to fail to capitalize on a good joke. Every game they tried to do it, regardless of who we were playing, the fans would just chant Purdue for the last card. And so it became this big story. And I was writing about it for the Voice Tribune. Like 7 different cheerleaders come forward and take credit for being the ones who accidentally held up the Purdue card. And none of them will, and like I'll tell them in like email correspondence, I'm like, "Hey, so, Tracy actually said that she was the one who held the card up." And they're like, "Well, she's lying." It was like a whole drama. I never got the full story. Like, I don't have the full story on how exactly this came to pass. I feel like we have a situation like that with the Flick the Bean thing.
A little bit. That is kind of similar. I don't know how big this one's going to get, though.
Flick the Bean?
Yeah, I can't imagine it, like, leaving the area of these fans in Lynn Family Stadium. I don't think it's going to be like a... If it gets bigger, I could see it trending more that direction.
I agree. By the way, props to Javon Hadley. You mentioned yesterday he was making his debut at the Portsmouth Invitational. 15 points, 11 boards, just 28 minutes last night.
Get that guy a contract.
Get him a contract. His team wins the first game of the PIT, 78-75. Javon Hadley turning some heads.
What are the variety of players that are playing in this kind of thing?
It's all seniors.
No international?
No. Seniors from, if you played college basketball, it's seniors from college. And, they don't say this explicitly, but it's basically seniors that, as of right now, likely aren't going to get invites to the NBA draft combine, that are trying to kind of earn their way into the combine, or at least just get on the radars of NBA teams or other professional teams.
I don't know if they were letting other prospects in, too.
It's basically like seniors who aren't currently projected to be drafted, who have an opportunity to try to make a name for themselves before they get into the full draft process, if that
makes sense.
Yeah. Texter 502-414-1450 says, this is Boxcar Bob. "I assume the delay on Alvaro and Woolley announcements because we also got Blackwell and they're wrapping up the minor details with him and waiting to announce all 3 at once." That'd be cool. I don't think that's what's happening, but I don't know. Texas, "I agree that some of these prices for players are shocking, but I think Alan Graves is completely worth a blank check. If he goes to a competent coach, I truly believe he'll be the clear best player in college basketball next year. I assume we don't have the money for him, but I'll keep dreaming until he commits elsewhere." I think Alan Graves is good. Maybe I eat these words in 8 months. Best player in college basketball to me seems over the top. I think he'll obviously take a step up in production. It's not like Herb Sendek doesn't know how to coach. That's a guy who's won a lot of games in a lot of different programs. Did a great job out there at Santa Clara. I don't think that he's worth $6.5 million. Do we think that
No.
Are you saying Alan Graves is worth more than Flory Badunga?
No.
I don't think so either. Like I said, maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. Texas, was someone picked for Thundernator this year? I haven't heard anything. Also, please tell me y'all know what the Thundernator is. Scooch and the Spears gang were clueless per usual. Is that, I know they have one person who just presses the button that, kicks off Thunder. Some really old guy a couple years ago accidentally pressed it at the wrong time and it screwed everything up. And I don't think it actually really does anything, but it made it look bad. I kind of also forgot that Thunder got canceled last year, Roman.
I forgot that, too.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like there's a lot of people interested in going this year. So
maybe it's the turnout. Maybe it's the buildup for not being able to go last year. They're just going to be peeing all over the waterfront.
Louisvillians need their fireworks.
Just urine everywhere, Roman. Just people peeing on feet, left and
throwing hot dogs and funnel cakes.
I don't mind that. The pee thing, not as fond of, but Texas, every time I try B-dubs, I remember why I no longer eat there. I mean, I'm telling you, prime B-dubs. There was nothing better. There was a time in my life, Roman, where I probably would have taken B-dubs over just about any other dinner. I would have taken like 12 spicy garlic wings with ranch and the little cheddar poppers over like a full-blown prime filet. Clearly, the taste buds have either matured or they've gone south.
Chicken fried rice.
What?
That's how I was with chicken fried rice.
I love chicken fried rice still. But
give me that grain bag out of Trader Joe's before like most meals.
Really?
Yeah.
I enjoy fried rice. They had a bad fried rice recall at Trader Joe's, though. There was glass in it in the Midwest.
I heard about that.
Yeah. Can't trust anybody anymore. Texas Pope has to stop showing these recruits his magical underwear drawer. Here's what I think needs to happen. I need cameras on Mark Pope during one of these visits. Like, we need to have a...
Mic him up. Mic'd up recruiting for documentaries for like 5 years down the line.
I understand that this is maybe one of those situations where the mind's ability to imagine is perhaps better than the reality of the situation. But I need to know. I got to know what's going on these visits. Is he saying the craziest bleep imaginable?
I think he's code switching. Like, to a dangerous degree.
Dude, I just had...
What's up, bruh? Imagine. What's up, fam? When Rob Wright walks in.
Hey, bro, let me talk to you a little bit about Joseph Smith, man.
Let me show you something, fam.
You ever read the Book of Mormon? I got the page right here. It ain't like the musical. It ain't like the musical at all, man. A little bit.
You're Rob Wright. You walk into the practice facility. You're ready to see what's going to be offered, how you're going to be given the keys to this program. What's up, man? You a believer in Christ? Come on, dog. Let me show you something.
No, you ain't got to drink
with
no
his
coffee.
Oversized, awkward way that his quarter zip's sitting on him. That head gleaming at you. It just doesn't. It's not going to ever work. It's not right.
Y'all on that switch.
And then he grabs your lower back on the dap after that?
Man, but you know what's really dope, though? Like, an adherence to strict health and moral codes. You know what I'm talking about? Like, coffee ain't all that. Nah, for real.
Gatorade.
Can be more serious, y'all, man. It's all about a belief in a distinct God the Father. Not a single Trinity. You know what I'm saying? This is how warped my mind is now by all of this stuff.
He walked in.
Have you ever had
to have some sex, Rob? I know it.
You know I'm just playing. That's all, Cap. Right?
You don't do that.
God, that went way too far. So, like, have you ever had a dream that you didn't remember at all, like unearthed during the day?
Yes.
Just happened to me. I literally dreamed that there was a video that got out there of Pope, like, dapping up Rob Wright, going in for the bro hug, and then, like, kissing him on the lips, and Rob Wright backing away and being like, and it was like, but it was like it was like in front of a basketball crowd.
That might have been like an AI video you watched while you were
maybe like, it may have been like
in your empty headspace last night before bed. Like
that may have happened, but like it was filmed like at a game, and it was like unearthed footage from years ago, and people were like, this is what they were talking about. Like, oh my God, it actually happened. Kissgate was a real thing. That's what I mean, it obviously doesn't sound great, but I had a dream about Mark Pope kissing Rob Wright. But in terms of the context, in terms of it being something that's been talked about in the show, I think it's okay. All right, man, you want to give me a little smooch? Ain't nothing wrong with bros being bros, yo. Texter says, I will not stand for this beat-up slam. Okay, that's all you said, though. Defend yourself.
I was putting some respect on the beat-ups go.
Texas, I was with Roman on the beat-up service complaints until he mentioned requiring excessive amounts of milk with his wings.
That
if you need multiple refills of milk because of the spice level of your wings, you need to dial it back.
That's the old Roman. Back when the blazing wings, I felt I could conquer them. I could. I ate them all. I just needed milk.
I kind of let the milk thing slide, but I also was like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Oh, my God. My mom got so mad at me one time. Too long. Basically, mom's in town from Illinois. You know, she didn't live in Louisville for the longest. Go to B-Dubs, my choice. She has no idea that I get the blazing wings every time I go at this point. I get them within, like, the second wing. I'm having an all-out, like, face is dripping wet, nose is dripping wet. I'm still trying to shovel them in, and I'm like, oh, I've already just completely drank the carton of milk in seconds, and I'm like going back, trying to like walk to the kitchen and ask, like, where's the milk? Where's the server? She said she was bringing more milk out. Mom was very unhappy with that experience. She thought I needed to like go to the hospital. I'm like, no, it's fine. I just need some milk. I'm going to finish them. I don't get the blazing wings anymore.
Real quick, by the way, before we go to break, Money Williams, remember him from Montana?
Yeah.
Money just committed to Boston College, playing for Luke Murray in the ACC. Good get for Luke. Let's go to break. When we come back, hour number 3. I've got another story to kick off the hour. We'll get back to the text line. Hopefully have some updates for you in this last hour. We'll find out. Keep you updated if we do. It's the Mike Rutherford Show, 1450 96.1 Big X Sports Radio. Again. Quick break. I was out there staring. You know what I just realized?
We got out of there late.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
My favorite thing about the Big X, the U of L College of Business Studios here, the Big X Nation, there's been an unplugged pencil sharpener sitting on the floor right outside of the studio for, I think since I've worked here.
At least a year.
It
hasn't moved an inch.
Nobody's touched it. Nobody's touched the cord. Nobody's touched the sharpener itself. When the cleaning people come in
here,
all I can think of is like, in case of an emergency, we just know we've got it. If there's a pencil emergency at Big X headquarters, boom, plug in, go to work. Let's go. It's been there forever. And I was just thinking about it on the way. I literally was staring at it, and then I heard the music playing. I was like, I guess I better go do a radio show. Hour number 3 here of the Mike Rutherford Show, 1450, 96.1, Big X Sports Radio. Roman Kelly in the house today. Corey Price left behind his notes for today's show, which means it's birthday time, Roman.
Ooh.
April 16th birthdays. Number 1, how old today is Chance the Rapper?
Ooh, Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. He's not too old.
He feels like he's perpetually 24.
Yeah, I'll say he's 34.
Very close. I feel like you're always one off on the first one. 33.
Nice.
33 years old. Happy birthday to Chance the Rapper. Actor John Cryer. Do you know who John Cryer is?
Give me a movie.
He was he was like the lead in 2.5 Men, opposite of
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen and then Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, he's a pretty funny guy.
That's pretty much all that anybody knows him from.
I will say he's 46.
61.
Wow.
I know. I was a little surprised there. I think I would have guessed like early 50s. NBA Hall of Famer and college basketball legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Formerly Lou Alcindor.
Just his birthday, not just his birthday.
It was just his birthday last year?
I remember watching a Lakers game. They were shouting him out because it was his birthday. He's an old guy. I'll say 80.
Oh, one off again. 79.
Ah.
Singer Akon. He got locked up. They won't let me out.
Akon?
They won't let me out. Locked up.
Akon, I bet you he's older than he looks.
100%.
I'll say 47?
Older.
53.
53 is exactly right.
Wow.
I know. I would have guessed younger, too.
Looks like he's 45.
I mean, he also, his prime, I feel like Akon was a big deal like 17, 18 years ago. So I would have guessed he was doing that in his, 20s. But it sounds like it was more of his, 30s. Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely. Last one. North Carolina head football coach Bill Belichick.
71.
He is 74 years old, but he's 28 on the inside. Or is it when he's inside?
I thought they were broke up. Did I hear that?
What?
Okay, I might.
That would
have been fake.
That would have been front page news. Yeah. Warren Rand, no. Push that to the back burner. Belichick and Jordan Hudson breaking up. We got to know about that. On this day, historically, Kendrick Lamar won the Pulitzer Prize for music for his album Damn. I didn't know that. Okay, say hand up. No idea there was a Pulitzer Prize for music. Did not know that. Kendrick Lamar won it. Michael Jordan on this day, Roman, played the final game of his NBA career in a 107-87 Washington Wizards loss to the Philadelphia 76ers in 2003. Young Mike was about to graduate from high school. Old Mike was hanging it up. I like to pretend the Wizards era just didn't happen.
What am I guessing? How many points he had?
No. I'm just telling you big events that happened.
Oh, okay.
Babe Ruth also played his first game with the Boston Braves, 4-2 win over the New York Giants in 1935. Kill Bill Volume 2 was released in U.S. theaters in 2004, and Walter Cronkite made his debut as the anchorman for the CBS Evening News in 1962.
Kill Bill Volume 2 is a pretty good movie.
I enjoy Kill Bill. The trivia is always way too hard. It's either way too hard or way too easy.
No more NBA stuff?
Okay. Who is the Oklahoma City Thunder's all-time leading scorer?
Oh, that's easy. Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook. How many points has he scored? Give me the closest round number.
Closest round number? 25K.
18,859 points. So I was going for 19K.
I should have said 20. That was my gut.
These are all Thunder questions, but they're not directly. Okay, this action movie star was featured in both the 1990 film Days of Thunder and the 2008 film Tropic Thunder.
He's got the long, slick back hair?
Not even close.
I have no idea.
Louisville ties. Tom Cruise. Days of Thunder.
Tom Cruise. He had the long, slick back hair in the first movie you named.
In Days of Thunder?
No, the second one. Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder?
Didn't he?
No, he's doing
slick back hair.
Wasn't Tom Cruise doing blackface in Tropic Thunder?
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah. What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people? He, I think that was what was happening. also just signed on to do Top Gun 3. A new Top Gun's coming out.
I saw the previews about that. Apparently, he's a super old man in that.
Well, I mean, he is kind of a super old man in real life, so not exactly stretching his limits as an actor.
How old is he?
I mean, Tom Cruise is what? I mean, he's got to be in his 60s now. He's like, I'm going to say 64. What do you say?
I was going to say like 57, 56.
He's 63. He's getting up there. Still very active, still very fit, but still kind of an older guy. I'm excited. I liked the second Top Gun. Trevor was vehemently opposed to it because he hates all sequels or whatever. It was good. I'm excited for the next one, too. All right, Gameday Mens Health text line 502-414-1450. We've got the spring game tomorrow. We've got Portal Madness continuing to roll on. Hopefully some big news for Louisville coming in the not-so-distant future. We haven't heard anything yet, have we? Nothing out there?
Nothing new, no.
Nothing new out there? I also need someone smarter to me. Somebody said this to me today, like one of my really smart friends, and was like, this is crazy. And it was one of those where they're thinking that I'm smarter than I am, and so I just kind of have to go with it, where I'm like, damn, that's crazy. But like I've got no idea. It's a study out there today that says scientists have found that young stellar cousins of our sun are calming down and dimming more quickly in their X-ray output than previously thought. Someone sent the whole story to me. I read the first 3 paragraphs and was like, I'm not going to grasp this. Like, how bad is this? Apparently, it's something that is featured in the new the Project Hail Mary. This is like one of the parts of this, and that's why this story is kind of taken off. But I haven't seen the film. I haven't read the book. My wife's reading the book. But I was like, okay, I mean, like, how worried do I need to be? Are you telling me that we're going to die like now, or is the Earth going to burn up like 5 million years a little earlier than we once thought? I don't know. But
I think the movie made it sound like it was going to be like a 30-year thing.
Like the world's burning up in 30 years.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that this is what's going to happen. I think that would be bigger news than it. I don't think it would be a random friend who works at NASA emailing me this if it were like a 30-year thing. Or maybe it would. Maybe this is him just stunned by my lack of a reaction and just be like, damn, that's crazy. It's like, I just told you you're going to die. Who knows? But look it up for yourself. Science.nasa.gov. It's there. It's the title of the story. It's 5-minute read. NASA finds young stars dim in X-rays surprisingly quickly. Somebody who's smarter than I am, tell me if this is something that I need to be concerned about, because it's above my head. I don't get it. We have a lot of text to get to. Let's get to as many as we can. Texter says, Mike, I had to tune in late. I know you said Good is on campus, but is Alvaro out now? Not to my knowledge. Don't think so. Texas, Roman's talent evaluation is so bad. Good starts here, or at worst is like the 6th guy. He starts at the 4 over the Iowa guy, I think. I think he'll be really solid.
I didn't say he wouldn't be solid. I don't think he starts over the Alvaro guy.
I don't think he would either.
Wouldn't be surprised if he was used in a 7th-man kind of spot.
Texas, please show some love and a big shout-out to the Louisville softball team. Their big walk-off victory last night against IU. I did watch a little bit of this when I saw that it was in extra innings. Because it was on the ACC network last night. Louisville softball, they played a 4.5-hour game against Indiana last night. Softball is typically a very fast-moving sport. The innings are shorter than baseball. It doesn't, it's rare that a game goes too much over 2 hours. But they ended up playing a full 10 innings last night at Ulmer Stadium. The Cards get the win. They've won 14 of 16, Roman. In the top 25 right now. I think they're at 24, 23. This is the best team that Holly April's had since she's been here. It's maybe the best team that we've had since, I remember the last time we hosted regionals, I want to say was like 2010. We've never made it out of a regional. We've never played in a super regional. It'd be a great year for that to change. They've got Pittsburgh coming up this weekend, and then if you want to make it out to support the softball team and how well they're playing, great opportunity next Wednesday. They're taking on Kentucky in the second Battle of the Bluegrass meeting. They came back from like a 6-1 deficit in Lexington and beat UK in Lex for the first time since back in 2014. Would love for a season sweep. I can't even tell you how long it's been since we swept UK in softball, but I'm sure it's been a while. So next Wednesday, 6 o'clock, if you are a softball fan, make it out there, support the Cards. They're having a hell of a year. Texter says, who eats inside at McDonald's? It was a joke. It's a setup joke. I think my kids sometimes, like when the babysitters take them out, they eat inside of McDonald's.
Me and Cool Dad used to eat the hotcakes at McDonald's.
I love the hotcakes.
Saturday mornings.
I mean, McDonald's used to have outdoor playgrounds. The old wood chips, like just crawling inside those little burgers. I was all about it. I loved the McDonald's playground back in the day. Had to have been just covered in viruses. Just I don't know how any of us survived to the age of 10 playing on those play places. And there were stories about teenagers going in there and having sex after hours. It just had to have been just the grossest thing in the world. But had a good time. That's all that mattered. I always think, too, about nowadays, like parents, like, you know, I take like, the kids to the playground or whatever. You sit there, you're watching them, you're keeping tabs on them, and if everything's going fine, you know, you're glancing at the phone, you're scrolling through text, checking email, you know, going through Twitter, whatever. It was so much harder to avoid other parents when my parents were taking me to stuff like that. Like I just imagine my dad, who did not want to strike up a conversation with anybody that he didn't know, having to sit there with us at McDonald's playground, and like somebody coming over after 10 minutes, sitting down and being like, "Look at those kids go out there. Hey man, I'm Gil," and my dad having to be like, "I want to punch this guy in the face." But like, what? You couldn't just look at your phone. You didn't know where to go. It's either like stare awkwardly at the kids playing on the playground,
pretend to read a newspaper,
or if you wanted to bring like a magazine out there or a newspaper, that was the only other route to go. If it wasn't, you were just open for conversation. You were putting that vibe out there to the other parents there that, hey, I'm good to talk. And I know my dad didn't want to talk to anybody else. I would have not handled that situation well. Because you bury yourself in the phone these days. It's kind of like the universal "do not disturb" sign. Don't talk to me. I'm looking at stuff. Texas says Mark Pope selling UK players in the transfer portal. The meme images don't translate to the radio. It's a good it's a good text, but it's not going to work. Texas said right after that it's another it's another image that does not translate to radio. Texas says it seems like Pope could use the help of an easy recruiting win. Maybe a local boy would fit that bill. I heard Cutter could shoot from 40 feet in high school. You know,
he's a dual athlete.
Man, I think that was part of the reason why they got him out there to Tucson. Bobby Hurley's gone. He's going to play on that basketball team.
They're going to get him on that basketball team.
They're going to get him on that Sun Devil basketball team. I'll tell you right now. And you tune in, you watch some Big 12 basketball next year, he's going to be lighting it up. He'll play.
Didn't know what he had.
Oh, he'll play. His daddy told me he'll play. His daddy ain't never lied to me. Texter says, we've done a myriad of voices today on the show. This is the Marconi episode.
It is.
We joked about it. We're showing the range on today's show. That's what's happening right now. Texter says, Mike and Roman, after listening to the FC coach, I need you both to start referring to U of L players as lads. I wanted to dive into it so much more. Like, there is something, and I know it's
got to keep up with the lads.
It's inherent dumb Americanism, but my God, I love just hearing English people talk.
I'm like, cod.
I love the language.
Listen to that all day.
Love the cards. It's a proper place. The lads who picked me up from the airport really looked out for me.
You know, I'm a card through and through.
Card through and through.
God, I love it.
Ken Lola. I learned so much from him when I was here. And they told me about Derby and how great of a place it was going to be, and I was just not prepared. I was like, oh, my God. Now we're doing the British voices. He was fun to talk to. I also got a nice little heads up, nice little tip that someone saying, hey, that's one of the most informed interviews that I've heard one of our guys do.
Love it.
I was like, I appreciate it. We do nothing but prepare hard for here. Texas, I'm just now realizing that PK is going to make significantly less money than a number of his players this season. Isn't that a weird dynamic? Like, he's going to.
No, it's pro sports. If you want to tell me it's pro sports, athletes deserve more than coaches do. If that's what we are. That's where we're at.
But it's just such a shift because, I mean, I don't think that. So he's set to make $3.3 million this year. I think saying significantly less money than a number of his players this season is not accurate. He's probably going to make less money this year than
majority of his.
No.
Wait.
I'd say one player. Like, do you think the bulk of our players are going to make more than $3.3 million
individually,
this year?
No, you're right.
No, I mean, I think
Flory will.
I think Flory will. If you were able to get John Blackwell, that'd be another player that would require more than $3.3 million this year. But I think it'll probably just be Badunga when all's said and done. And it's not going to be a ton more. But it is a weird dynamic. College basketball for years and years and years, I feel like has been more so than any other major American sport defined by its head coaches, especially in the last 20 years or so, because the biggest stars typically, when they became huge stars, they were immediately going to the NBA. Like even if you weren't a one and done freshman, if you were a sophomore who blossomed into this really electric scoring junior, cool. Like right when people started to get to know you, you were gone for the NBA. So
and if you were a 4-year guy that figured it out after 4 years and became a star, the coach gets the props on that.
Right. Exactly. So the constants in college basketball for so long have been the head coaches, and they've become, and in so many states, the highest paid public employee is a head basketball or a head football coach. And now you've got this weird dynamic where, like, Floyd Badunga is going to make more money than Pat Kelsey this year. That would be, I mean, I think you have to go into it with the mentality, though, of we don't deal with any of that stuff once you get on campus. Like that, we have April conversations about how much you're going to make and how you're going to be paid and how that's going to work. When you report in June, it's like it was 10 years ago. You're treated the same as everybody else. We don't talk about money. We don't talk about the dynamic. It is everybody is here for the same goal. Like you're being coached the same. I mean, I heard Dan Hurley do a podcast. It was that podcast we talked about a couple years ago with J.J. Redick, where he said it's easier to coach guys now because back in the day, like I had a little bit in the back of my mind, I had a little bit of guilt for coaching guys really hard when I knew that I was making this amount of money and they were giving it their all and not being compensated at all. And he said, if I know a guy's out there making $800,000, I don't feel bad for saying, like, hey, get your head out of your ass. Let's go. Like, I'm going to push you more now that I know that you're being paid. And I think that's the mentality that all head coaches have to adopt. Like, they're being paid, but you've got to treat them like they're all being paid the same.
And fans have to, I think, adapt the mercenary aspect.
For sure.
You got to remember these kids are all temporary. The 4-year guy or the one and done.
I think we're all kind of doing it. And I know it sucks. I mean, because I liked the whole fan-to-player connection thing as much as everybody else. We liked getting to know these guys. We liked getting to watch them grow up. But, yeah, we'll learn about Shellstead and Badunga and whoever else this season, but it always has to be done under the guise of, like, I'm not expecting them to come back next year. Like, if they do, great bonus. But, those days are gone.
I also think that yes, they make a lot of money, but that money still, it's not past a certain margin where the player becomes more important than the coach, like in the NBA,
Yeah.
If you're not figuring it out and there's a $50 million player on that team and he doesn't think you're figuring out,
right. And that's part of the deal of it being a one-year contract. Like, if Flory Badunga came to Josh Hurd in the middle of the season and was like, hey,
he's not giving me enough pick and rolls, I want more lobs.
I think we need to press more. Josh would be like, get the hell out of my office. What are you talking? Like that's not your job. Like, that's not going to happen anywhere else.
In the NBA, the GM is going to follow that meeting up with the meeting with the coach.
Yeah, exactly. If LeBron goes to the GM of the Lakers, and I think he's obviously done this and said, hey, here's who I think we need to target in the draft, or here's who we should target in free agency, like that carries weight. If Flory if Flory was like, hey, I want to stay, but here's a list of players that I want to target in the portal, I mean, Pat Kelsey would be like, I mean, we'll do what we can do, but we're not, you don't get to call these types of shots. He's still very much the man in charge. Texter says, more soccer talk. That's what the people want. I'm rooting hard for Tottenham to be relegated.
What do you think of that, Matt? Got somebody on the text line rooting hard for Tottenham to be relegated. He says it's going to happen.
Are they in danger?
They're in danger.
Tottenham Hotspurs.
What is it now? They're 3 points from the relegation zone, it looks like, but it's not looking bright for them.
Who's going to win? I mean, are we that deep into the Champions League season? I mean, not the Champions League, the Premier League season. When does it end? It's like mid-May, right?
When does it end, Matt? It's coming to an end.
Is it?
5 games left.
They are okay. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, they're only 2 points behind West Ham.
Six games left.
They got plenty of room to not get. They're 2 points behind West Ham and 3 points behind Nottingham Forest to get out of relegation. Like, they just need to jump one of those teams.
In the calendar year? They haven't gotten a W in the calendar year.
Well, that's not good. That's a bad development there. Who's going to win? Arsenal is top of the table?
Yeah, Arsenal's going to – I don't see Arsenal dropping it. It's going to come down – I think Arsenal and City play, though.
They do, and City's 6 points behind right now.
So Arsenal drops one.
Arsenal's got a game in hand as well.
If they drop one and then they lose to City, it can be anybody's league, I guess.
Are these soccer terms impressing anybody out there? I know soccer stuff. STL Cody got texted in, said whoever the texter was yesterday that said Mark Pope moans when he shakes hands, he should win Texter of the Year.
What's up, Rob?
Skin-to-skin contact. Just
What's up, Rob? Come here.
Get in here, bro. You know how it feels, man.
You're right, Cody guy.
Bring it in, bro. Texter says Riddler here. Oh, Riddler's texted in. I forgot to comment on this yesterday. I can't believe the mayor teased the bleeping gymnastics event to us. What a joke. Mayor Greenberg needs to get tough on the NCAA and stop worrying about useless events that no one cares about. We're seriously going to wait until we stop hosting NCAA events after another year until we sue, aren't we? You know what's going to happen here? So Riddler has turned on Josh Hurd. He's openly calling for the mayor's job. I think he's called out. It's a matter of time before the Riddler turns on us. Like, I can see the writing on the wall. The Riddler is going to, like, he's Rutherford Show Riddler on Twitter right now. At some point in time, it's going to be like, I hate Rutherford Show Riddler. Like, this man's dangerous. He's volatile. He wants to flip on everybody. I think the Riddler's going to, the first time I say something the Riddler really doesn't like, he's going to start calling for my job and just texting in every single day. Having said that, I mean, we told you it was going to be an announcement that was kind of like this. The only problem was they teased it. The story was already out there. Like, the story had been written by the Courier-Journal. Everybody knew what the event was, so they thought maybe this was something different. And no, it was just U.S. gymnastics trials. Which, like, to be fair, is a big deal for a niche audience. Like those, I know they do good ratings every year. I know people watch that. People get very into who makes the U.S. gymnastics team. It's just probably not the biggest deal in the world for the average sports fan in the city of Louisville. Is that a safe assessment?
I think so.
Yeah. When you tease like major announcement in a city like Louisville, we're immediately going to say like, oh my God, like. I mean, I thought women's Final Four, something like that. But, like, other people will be like, the NBA is finally coming. We're going to get a professional hockey team. We're going to, the banner's coming back.
Barack Obama's coming to talk.
Yeah, something like that. We're going to get the NBA playoffs are coming to town somehow. And when that's the answer, it's like, people are going to be disappointed. This is why if you're going to tease something, you've got to make sure that you're setting the bar where it needs to be placed. Because it's like, I know everybody's been in this position before, but if you're with a significant other and you're like, oh my God, like, guess what? I just heard great news from my mom. Guess what it is? And they're like, oh my God, like, we won $1 million in the lottery. And they're like, no, it's like they're having us over for dinner on Sunday and we don't have to cook. Like, okay, like that's great news, but when you guess too high, it makes you're playing a very dangerous game. Texter says, get a budget 2-guard and give the bag to Baba Miller as a power forward for us. I mean, if we had Wooly in the fold for maybe like a relatively cheap price, relatively being the operative word there, maybe you'd have enough to spend on Baba Miller. Look, if you don't get Blackwell, would you just throw that money at Baba?
I would.
I would too.
I mean, I would throw that Baba right now.
Over Blackwell?
I want both.
Well, okay. You're doing the thing.
Okay, I'm doing the thing. I get it.
Could we convince DeBonsa to join the fold if we got those two guys? What if we took the money that we're going to give Blackwell and Baba and gave it to Cam Boozer? Do you think we could get Shea to come back to college? Texture says Spurs Celtics finale. As a Lakers fan, I hope San Antonio wins in that scenario, of course. Thunder get another lottery pick because the Clippers missed the playoffs. Let's just say they get a later lottery pick from 9 to 14. Who do you all think they pick? I was telling my buddy that wants to beat you up, here we go again, that if they get a pick that low, they may get Nate Ament, and he said that's a bad pick since they have Chet. My argument was Ament is a 3, not a 4, so having Chet doesn't really affect that.
I think you lose J-Dub one day as well. So I think the Ament pick's perfect. I think Ament ideally needs to be playing the 3 spot in the NBA.
Do you see?
You don't want Nate Ament at the 4 unless you've got.
I agree.
Like unless you're putting that alongside like a Joel Embiid or a Jokic, then that's completely different. But if he went to OKC and played that 3 spot, you have J-Dub for another year or two before you probably lose him to a bigger deal to somebody else because you want to re-sign Nate and you have to keep signing Shea. I forgot about that. The Clippers had to win to avoid that.
Got to break. By the way, Nate Ament said yesterday if he's not a guaranteed lottery pick, he's coming back to college, which means he's going to the NBA. Let's go break. Final segment is up next. Keep it locked right here. It's the Rutherford Show on the Big X.
Hey, football fans, Louisville football is set to take on returning college football playoff semifinalist Ole Miss in Nashville over Labor Day weekend. The game will be played at Nissan Stadium on Sunday, September 6th. Get tickets now at gocards.com/Music City. Want to catch the Cards at home this season? Visit gocards.com/FBinfo to learn more about available ticket options.
As a proud sponsor of the Mike Rutherford Show and Louisville Cardinals basketball, United Mechanical is committed to providing the same reliability on and off the court. United Mechanical is Kentuckiana's business-winning choice for reliable HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and refrigeration services. Season after season, call United Mechanical, your trusted home team partner at 502-339-1133. That's 502-339-1133. Let's go Cards.
Defining a new era in men's health, Gameday Mens Health delivers real results. No shortcuts. From testosterone replacement, weight loss, to peptides, vitamins, and sexual performance therapy, they will have you covered. From their in-house lab that gives you answers in just 15 minutes in our clinic that is designed for men who value speed, privacy, and most importantly, results. Visit GamedayMensHealth.com. Real men, real science, real change. Visit GamedayMensHealth.com.
Humana Incorporated seeks a lead technology leadership professional in Louisville, Kentucky, to be responsible for all aspects of software or hardware, product delivery, and performance. 100% telework permitted within the United States. Pre-employment background check and drug screening required. Apply at jobpostingtoday.com. Reference number 16477. Again, jobpostingtoday.com. Reference number 16477.
When design is key to your landscape project, give Walnut Ridge Landscape and Design a call at 812-288-6691. Walnut Ridge has more experience than any landscape company in the area. Remember, Walnut Ridge Landscape and Design. When design is key to your project and you want the most experienced landscaping company in the area. Give Walnut Ridge a call at 812-288-6691. Walnut Ridge Landscape and Design. When design is key.
Mix of sun and clouds for this afternoon, the low end shower chance with a high temperature generally close to 80 in most spots. For tonight, thunderstorms will actually roll in our southern counties. If you're south of the Ohio River, be aware of some lightning and thunder, nothing too wild, but there is a chance. Tomorrow, well into the 80s, isolated storm chance west of I-65 during the afternoon. From the Wave Storm Tracker team, I'm Brian Good.
This forecast is brought to you by United Mechanical, your trusted partner for commercial and industrial HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and refrigeration. Call 502-339-1133. This is Kentuckiana's only locally owned sports talk, The Big X, AM 1450 and 96.1 FM, WXVW Jeffersonville.
O'clock hour here, 1450, 96.1, Big X Sports Radio. I was doing a little groove in there. Just remind me, I had to skip dance practice today. We're going back tomorrow. We're doing two a week now, double time. But I've got like this weird. I guess it's just from walking so much this weekend. My foot looks like I dropped a anvil on it. my right foot. Doesn't hurt that badly, but I was like, I need to give it a day of rest. Plus, I had a bunch of stuff I had to catch up on regardless. But I'm back at dance practice tomorrow, Roman. So you'll have a dance update, which I know is why most people tune into the show. You're stunned.
Sorry. Talking to Matt Childress here.
Focus on the show.
Sorry about that.
3-man front can wait. You've got 30 minutes. Get focused. I was just talking about my foot's black and blue. You just don't care, though. It's okay.
From your dancing?
No, I didn't need to do dance today. We're delayed until tomorrow.
What'd you say it happened from?
Just walking, like all weekend. I don't know what the deal was. I used to,
Did you get some nice support shoes?
I did. Got some running shoes that are nice. I mean, I think it's so I don't want to go down this road. I don't like talking about that, but when I was sick a few years ago, I had this weird thing where I would just get like busted capillaries, like my body would just bruise everywhere. And it never hurt. Like never had bruises that hurt. And I think this is I've still got some lingering stuff happening, which is fine. It's all manageable. But I think this has to be directly related because some of the other stuff popped up too. If I just do too much, the body can't handle it as well. But I'll be back tomorrow. We'll have a dancing update tomorrow. We're grooving. We're setting the full. I think we got everything laid out. It's now just a matter of beating the repetition to death. We're gonna get there. We're also gonna get the fundraising going up. We were leading for a long time. We're down to 5th place right now. There's an issue too. They're doing like one of the guys dancing. I guess he has kids at the same school that my daughter goes to, and he's doing a fundraiser where like students can have a free dress day if they bring $1 in, and it goes to his fundraising campaign. So I can't tell, like my daughter's going to be contributing to his campaign if she wants a free dress day. I don't know. And now I can't be like the second person that does a fundraiser like this at their school. It's a tough position to be in.
That is tough.
I'm tough. It's a tough spot. All right, Gameday Mens Health text line 502-414-1450 is the number. We've got a couple of YouTube comments to get to. Robert Downey Jr. was the one who was playing the blackface character in Tropic Thunder. Tom Cruise was almost totally bald, so we were both wrong, but that's okay. Also, resident Louisville astrophysics guy here. The sun won't die for another 5 billion years, so even if it was shortened by 5 million years, it does not matter for us. Okay. Robert Holt says, what do you mean by you people? Great line from Tropic Thunder. Josh says, what an interesting behind-the-scenes look we have here. I don't know what was happening, but there you go. Not Otis George says, free ads for the sponsors. Better count those impressions. I have no idea what that's about either. Sean says, Mike talking about his foot and Roman not caring it at all, engaging in intense conversations with off-screen unknown person. Hilarious. That's why you're a true pro these days.
I'm doing my best.
Doing your best is focusing on the show that's quite literally live on air, Roman.
I was listening. I heard
you were not listening.
I know it was a foot issue, and there was something that was going to impact dancing. Caught it.
You're going to be a great husband. 502-414-1450 is the Gameday Men's Health text line. Texter says, Baba's out of eligibility. There's always more eligibility in the banana stand. They'll find a way. Texter says, Take. If I can't celebrate a title that I worked so hard for, I don't care how much I'm compensated. It's not worth it, and I'm hanging it up like K. Roy, Tony Bennett. I need at least a day.
It's got to be worth it. You've got a whole, month after you wait a couple of weeks.
Not really.
The job's not finished.
The job's never finished. That's the problem. He's working 18-hour days.
You win your championship. You get things set in motion for next season. You get that roster set.
And
you let them know what it's going to be. Let them know when everybody's going to get there, and then boom, go to the Bahamas or something for a few days.
You get maybe a week, but I want that initial.
I get that week's not immediately after the championship.
It's like the whole Nick Saban thing when he won a national title and they interview him at midfield, and he's like, "Yep, back to work tomorrow." Just what's the point then?
They've got time to celebrate.
We're on Earth to fart around.
They travel around the country playing basketball.
We're supposed to be happy. Texas Shining Star Austin Powers Gold member. I have no idea what that was. Was that was that one of the songs you played?
No.
This is from 345, so I've got no clue. Texas Roman's the harbinger of death.
That's a bit extreme.
Texas says Roman killed the U of L white squirrel. You heard it here first.
All right.
Did you really?
No, it's still alive, I think. I thought.
Texas, I knew that RFK Jr. beheaded a whale, so the raccoon is new. He's clearly got some sort of chopping fetish. I mean, he also had drug around the dead baby cub, right? And then left it in Central Park.
Yep.
That was the big story initially. Texas says, I've also messed up on days this week. We got a case of donkey brains going around. It's been a weird week. Also says, I think we can get you all a Marconi. That's the goal for the show. I don't know. every now and then I used to get radio, like pro radio emails. I don't know if I still do anymore, but they would have once a year the form to submit yourself for Marconi Awards. Now, I never did it, but I would love to know what segment we could possibly submit. I can't imagine how many people submit segments as jokes. I think this is probably the job of like a higher up, a program director, producer, something like that. But we should cut one segment this year, just at random, where we're not doing anything remotely interesting, and just submit it and see what happens. Texas soapbox time. I read the Norlander piece, and like you, I'm not playing a violin for May personally, but it's just another example of when enough is enough. No matter what your profession is and competitive pressures over resources are constant, everything is commercialized 24/7, and when one guy is working 8 hours so the next works 10, and then the next works 12 or 14, then this is how the situation ends up this way. I'm sorry, libertarians. The invisible hand of the market is great to put everyone into an early grave, which is why we need an agreed-upon social contract through laws and regulations for college basketball and other industries where, God forbid, people that can actually breathe for a few days instead of nonstop work until death. Kind of the position we've gotten to. We've evolved to a point where it's like we got to have big conversations about what we want to accomplish here, not just work-wise, social constructs. What is the main point? What's the goal? How do we want to live our lives? Happiness has to factor into the equation at some point, right?
I think so. I think doing what you enjoy every day should be the goal.
Absolutely.
Getting as close to that as possible.
I mean,
to that ability.
It can't just be, and I know the flip side argument is, well, why didn't everybody just not work at all? Let's see how society functions to that point. There obviously has to be there has to be a, you got to do what you got to do element to the society that we've built. I understand that. We're doing well enough that I don't think we should be in a position where a healthy majority of human beings feel like they never get a moment to breathe. They never get a moment to enjoy things around them. They're constantly thinking about, how am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to create a safe environment for myself and people that I care about? And the only way to make that happen is working all but 5 hours a day, every single day, and constantly being on. We're not supposed to live like that. I don't think our brains are conditioned to live that existence. And
I agree. Dusty May chose this.
No, we're having broader conversations, which is why we both prefaced our comments, myself and the texter, with, I'm not playing a tiny violin for Dusty May. He's doing fine. Like, Dusty May is not worried about where he or his family's next meal is coming from.
And I get it's bigger than just the champion of the year. Like,
yeah,
the fact that people in this realm of work put so much time into it for actually what is only a handful of months of its peak of importance throughout the year. It's not for the people behind the scenes. They have to have the peak of importance all throughout the year. They don't get more than 2 weeks to breathe in the entirety of the year. 3 weeks for somebody like Pat Kelsey or Dusty May. That's insane. It is. But at the same time, I think there's like a threshold you've passed by being in that realm.
Oh, for sure.
That you're good. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, again, like if Dusty May wanted to never work a day in his life, he could live a comfortable life from now until eternity. Doing something, he probably still have to work.
If he threw his phone in the closest pond and left for a week, Michigan wouldn't fire him.
No, but this is just a conversation kind of about the evolution of work in general and where we are as human beings.
Humans aren't supposed to be working that much for their entirety of their life.
Yeah, and if this is where our choices in the past have led us, then maybe we should make some different choices moving forward. Shockingly, I don't have the answers about what those choices should be. I'm not that smart. Texter says, it's a squirrel with the phrase murderers over it. And that's just Roman. I've just hit a couple on accident with my car. Roman's out here just slaughtering. No. He took a squirrel, a baby squirrel, I think, placed it in a small amount of water, and just held it underneath. It was like shaking, and there was like a weird look in his eyes as it was happening. That's what happened. Like, that's the difference between me and Roman. He's strangling squirrels to death. He's actively drowning, and then he's smacking them with shovels.
I thought about it. Like, if somebody came out there and saw just a big water, like a circle of water in the driveway, and a guy with a stick and a clear creature on the ground.
I'm also, when you first started talking about trying to save his life, I'm envisioning, you've never seen this movie. There's a scene in The Abyss where one of the main characters is like has ingested a ton of water and is suffocating, is drowning, and she's giving him like CPR, and she's like smacking him in the face, like, "You never quit on anything in your life. Wake up! Don't quit on me." I'm imagining you doing that with a squirrel.
Yeah, that's with a broom pole.
I don't think that's how it looked. First time texter. It's funny how UK show KRC is comparing our incoming team to their team last year, basically saying that we are overpaying for role players. Do you all see any parallels between the two teams thus far? Cowboy. Well done. In what world is Flory Badunga a role player? What player did UK bring in last offseason that was widely regarded as the best overall player in the transfer portal? That would be my response.
Or even like an established high-level athlete in the SEC.
Their best player going into the season was I guess you could say Jaden Quains was the most highly touted. The most accomplished was Otega Owe, and he was a returning player. So I don't think that carries any weight whatsoever, at least so far. We've still got a long ways to go in this portal. Texas Kelsey's Army here. I saw some Illinois fans say that they are only getting one of Blackwell and Stojakovic. Have you heard acting like this? I think maybe anything like this. No. Now they've done a good job at retaining both the Ivisiches. Both Ivisic kids are coming back. Mirkovic is coming back as well. I've not heard that it's just Stojakovic or Blackwell. All I continue to hear is that they're the front runner. I think UCLA is a factor. Obviously, we're trying to be a factor. Again, I would tell you if I knew. I would tell you if I had a blurb to give. I've not heard anything about how the visit went. I don't know. It's just, I'm hoping it went well. Texas, please don't talk politics. This is the escape from that. This was a talk about raccoon penis chopping. Politics was just it was just tangentially related. If a huge Democratic figure had cut off a raccoon penis, we would have been talking about it. If an athlete in his past had cut off a raccoon penis to study later, we would have been talking about it. That's not a political talk. Raccoon penis chopping is apolitical, Roman.
It is.
Is it radio fodder? Absolutely. Texas, hey guys. It's the show's favorite tuba player. What up, Tuba CCBM? I was curious and checked out the 24/7 rankings the other day and noticed that there are about 10 high school guys in the top 100 who are unsigned. Outside of the obvious, they don't fit the system or maybe they want too much money. I feel like PK should go out and swoop up some of those guys. A lot of them are being looked at by schools who are clearly on a lower tier than Louisville. Am I way undersimplifying this?
Yeah, those kids want more money than the role that they're going to have at a school like Louisville is willing to pay them.
Yeah, I think that you
don't want to start any of those kids. You don't want those kids to be one of your best, ideally be a player you rely on.
Yeah.
And those kids want to have, you're going to rely on me kind of money. Louisville didn't want to do that with freshmen, which I'm okay with.
I can't speak to our interest in, who's the kid who just asked out of his letter of commitment from
Dylan Mongo?
No, from Pitt, who we had actively recruited before he had signed with Pitt. I know there was some talk there, and I think it was maybe legitimate that we were interested. But if you want to talk about Dylan Mingo, from what because there have been no he's visiting here, this school's the top of his list. Someone will sign him. Some high profile team will absolutely sign him. But what I've heard is the issue with him, and what was the issue with a handful of other players in the top 10, is they're acting like the pay scale for recruits that are in their position should be continuing to elevate as time goes on, just because time is going on. Like the transfer portal market we're paying more money. Everybody is for the best players in the portal this year than we were last year. And I get that. The portal's about the same in terms of quality as it was a year ago. This recruiting class sucks compared to last year's recruiting class. And I think that you've got players who are saying, oh, well, the number 7 player in last year's class made X amount of money or thereabouts, so I want this. And you've got a lot of head coaches who are like, you're not worth that, man.
Number 7 player in last year's class is going to the NBA.
Exactly.
You're not starting.
Yeah, the number 7 player in last year's class was, this better not be a bad example, Darius Acuff. Great, perfect. You ain't Darius Acuff. You're going to have to earn it this year. And I think, Mingo is a top 10 kid, according to some projections. But you're not going to get Acuff money because people don't think that you're Darius Acuff just because you're the number 10 player, number 9 player, or whatever player this year. Like, I think that's the issue for them.
I do think it's kind of tough, though. Like, anybody outside of Stokes, if there's one of these guards is going to end up being important to their team.
Sure.
It's just going to be kind of funny to think that they probably didn't get as much money as they commanded just because of the talks on what their class is.
Well, I think you can look at where the top 15 players signed, and you can see the writing on the wall a little bit. Like the number 2 player in the class signed with Arkansas, that checks out. That's Calipari. I don't know if you knew this. He recruits pretty well. And then
is that the Smith Jr. kid?
Jordan Smith from Paul IV, made famous by VJ King, and to a lesser extent other players. Cam Williams is number 3. He's going to Duke. So all business per usual. Caleb Holtz 4. He's going to Arizona. And then it gets a little bit like the number 5 player is going to USC. The number 6 player is going to BYU. The 7th player is going to Missouri. The number 8 player is going to Maryland.
They're going to schools that would start them.
They're going to schools that are saying, like, we want, like we'll pay you a decent amount, while some other more successful programs are saying, we're not going to spend that money on high school kids right now because this class just doesn't demand it. We're going to spend that money on accomplished transfer portal players. I mean, you look at, 10 through 15, Miami, Ohio State, Missouri, USC again. It's just like, the bigger name schools are you're seeing a lot of them sign players that are more 20 to 50 range because they feel like that's where the value is. And, they're not going to demand crazy money because they're the 33rd ranked player. And I think the school's like, all right, Duke, UConn, we'll sign you for that money. Maybe it's a one-off, maybe it's not. I don't know how good the 27 class is supposed to be, but the 26 class is widely sort of believed to be Tyron Stokes and a bunch of dudes. We'll see if that plays out. Texture says, is there a pivot if PK doesn't land Blackwell?
I'm sure there is.
I'm sure there is. Ohio Guy says Wingstop's the best place to get wings. Texture, some of our fans need to get laid. So bitter for no reason. Let's keep cooking in the portal and go from there. Do we have people that are upset?
I think we have people kind of spiraling a little bit.
Over what? We just got the best player in the portal like 3 days ago.
On feeling like we have a complete team that's one that you're capable of being confident in.
Nobody has a complete team.
I get it. You know what Louisville fans are, though? We want that Final Four starting 5 right now.
We need to not be other fan
We have to know that our starting 5 lineup is Final Four capable before May. We need to know that. It's Louisville, Mike. You know this.
And maybe I'm insulated. I haven't seen as much of that, I guess, as people are saying. People seem to be happy. They should be happy.
I think people are extremely satisfied and happy with what's been accomplished. I think with what's in the works, they're very eager for it to be done for some reason.
I don't know. Yeah. There's Mike and Roman. If Stokes and Freeman both commit to UK, how long until we hear about them getting in a fight in practice? How long until it happens, or how long until we hear about it?
Yeah, they definitely fight before November.
Yeah, those are two big personalities. Yeah. Dave, teacher from Jeffersonville, says, wait, Mike read my Ted's text. Red's text?
Reds, yeah.
Okay. He said, Reds game, love this team so far, would have loved to sweep the Giants, but Wait, Mike, I didn't listen until 2:47. Repeat everything you said about Kentucky's terribly awkward season. Thanks, hot honey. Not going to do that. Text Mike, if we land Alvaro as was originally expected, I'm worried we have too many players who wear undershirts during games. This is the type of text I'm looking for. Alvaro, Badunga, Knox, and even Woolley from time to time are big T-shirt guys. I know this isn't a big deal, but we need to discuss if this is a situation where only one friend in the crew can wear a fedora. One fedora per group is the rule. I love T-shirt guys. We love lefties and T-shirt guys in this program. This is, this is something we need to dive into more in the offseason.
T-shirt guys play hard.
They do, but I think that there's an element of truth to the text. I can't see a team full of T-shirt guys cutting down the nets and winning a national title. There's two ways around this. One, we have some sort of tournament to determine who gets to be the T-shirt guy on the team. Two, sleeve jerseys this year. Help us out, Adidas.
Did Knox do it every game?
I
saw clips of his arms looking very strong in a regular jersey.
Same. I don't remember Carter. Oh, a lot of T-shirt pics on the Google images.
It must have been like his team photo before the year or something.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of him not now in all there are a couple of him not wearing sleeves. The vast majority are full on sleeves.
Yeah, he's a sleeve guy.
He's a sleeve guy. He's a sleeve guy. If I'm the sleeve,
it was his team photos, the media day photos
exactly.
he didn't wear.
There are a couple game photos where he's not wearing sleeves.
Okay.
I feel like whoever's got the least attractive build, they get to be the sleeves guy because that's the main point of being a sleeve guy is you're hiding the muscles, right?
Hiding the lack of muscle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to hide those arms. Fulgaris should be the sleeve guy.
Which Woolie's strong. I don't know.
Adrian doesn't need to be a sleeve guy.
Did he go from the tight shirt to the loose shirt?
See, Adrian was not.
I thought he wore the tight Adidas shirt at the beginning of the year with the sleeves and then moved to the loose shirt.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little bit more of a. The crazy thing, though, is he wasn't a sleeve guy all the time. There are lots of pictures of him without sleeves. He was never a sleeve guy at Kennesaw. His best games, though, towards the end of the season, no sleeves. That Miami game winner, sleeveless. Woolie's out. Fulgaris should be the sleeve guy.
Woolie's strong. You
don't need those. Come on. Texas Allen Graves averaged 11 points in the West Coast Conference. Like I said, I think he's good. The notion that he's going to be the best player in college basketball next season, I would push back pretty hard against. Crystal Plummer said, Mike, is the spring game going to be on TV? Don't believe so. Texas B-Dubs is making a comeback. Texas Mark Pope is Noah Waterman. I think there's something to be said. God, I miss Noah.
How did he get
on
the same page with Noah Waterman?
Well, he's talking about the voice that we're doing with Mark Pope.
Oh.
That was Noah's real voice.
Yeah, I mean, that's how he recruited it, I'm sure.
The look on my face when I watched that first video of him and Kase, and he's like, man, did you spend some time with your girl?
Yeah.
I was like, did not expect this at all. You're a big white guy from BYU whose name is Noah. Wasn't expecting this. Texas Pope is picking the urinal next to the recruit in an empty bathroom and saying, nice watch.
You say more than nice watch.
Oh, my God. The amount of trying to be like golf guy, funny guy at the Masters was off the charts. Just like so much just classic awful dad golf humor after you had a few drinks. And I was just like, I'm not here for it. I'm like, don't ruin this for me. Stop with this. You can't do the bathroom humor. Bathroom humor guy at football games is almost always not, the hit rate is low.
I feel like I pick my spots very wisely. But I've always got something. It's like somebody's in there doing something extremely abnormal, and I always make a good comment aloud about it.
I'm still traumatized by last year, the guy who was very clearly bathroom funny guy at I think it was the Virginia game, and he's been going off for like 5 minutes, and like I finished, and I'm going to wash my hands. He goes, oh, bleep, it's Mike Rutherford. And like everybody looks over, and I'm like, this is not the attention that I want right now. And I was like, what's up, man? Because there's no way to handle that situation where you come off looking cool. I'm like, yeah, I just peed, trying to wash my hands, man. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to. Do I wave? Do I bow? Texas, the Pope code switch voice sounds like Noah Waterman. We're not the only ones to pick up on this. Texas, I heard Mark Pope's favorite musical was Cats. And in terms of players to fill out the bench, is 9 points per game and starting at a winning mid-major around the caliber of recruit that Kelsey's going to go after. I mean, movie to fill out some roles, for sure. Texas, all I heard was that Roman violated a squirrel with a broom handle.
No. Attempted to save.
Mike, your gangster Mark Pope sounds like Noah Waterman. Shockingly, I don't have a lot of variations in my white guy trying to sound black voice. On a scale of Andy Griffith to Noah Waterman, how bad is Pope's code switching? I don't see. We were joking. I don't think that he actually does this.
Just first thought of something that to be immediately like kid ready to go within hours. You got to be doing something super off the wall like that.
Texas, milk with your wings. Sounds like Roman needs to flick his bean.
Something my dad would say.
Texas, did y'all get a cleaner because Matt can't throw his trash away? Quarter full water bottle over here. I don't know if it was Matt. Somebody left it in here.
Matt, you missing the trash can? Apparently you're getting made fun of here for not being able to make it into the trash can when you throw stuff.
Texas, I feel like your Marconi Award entry is either today's raccoon penis segment or some of your glazing segments from the past, or the Mickey Mouse voice. Texas, I love the Abyss reference. Nicely executed. I'm dying. Thank you. Abyss is a great movie. All right, we got to get out of here. Louisville Kings in action tonight. Who are we playing?
The Houston Gamblers.
The Houston Gamblers. Kings looking for their first win. Do we get it?
They get the job done. They're minus 170 on the money line for a reason tonight. Offense got things going finally last week, and we would have won that game if it wasn't for a very, very terrible rule. Gamblers 1-2, Louisville 3-point favorites. I'm taking that 2.5 points.
Gamblers lost 45-7 last week to DC. Kings get it done tonight. Let's go. We win this game 14-11. How about that? For more Kings talk, keep it locked right here. 3-man fronts up next. I'm back tomorrow at 2:30. Wrapping up the week. Until then, go Cards.
Go Cards.